got for it. Come on, Bubble.
It's already.
Come on now.
Oh, it's live already? Mm-hmm.
Come on. What up, fam? Big Q in the building, man. Representing Sports Coma. We're doing our first annual fantasy draft, man. And just here to kind of chime in with the family, man, and doing the family thing here. And who that's all the family out there that's doing anything.
Who you gonna pick, Bubble?
And Sports Corner first annual fantasy league. Who that to the family out there doing the fantasy league as well. A lot of people, man. Elite Goods is ahead of me, man. I'm drafting number 14. I just wanted to do something with the family out here. And who that to all the family on today's show. And let's see. I'm next up. Elite Goods is on the clock. First of all, I'd like to say what's happening to all the family members out there, man, across the Sports Coma Nation. Who that to all the family. Traqueek, Gray, who that baby. 985J, what's happening? Travis, what's happening? Trey, what's happening, baby? Devin, who that baby? Who that to all my family, man. And just to let everybody know, we're doing the Sports Coma Fantasy League right now currently. It started just a few minutes ago. And I'd like to give a big shout out to all the family members who were involved in that picked up the 19 slots for the Sports Coma Fantasy League. So, man, I'd like to thank everybody, man. It's been absolutely terrific, man, for everything. And
your team is now on the clock.
I'm on the clock right now. And, man, I tell you, man, it's been just going. A lot of stuff, man. It's 20-team draft, family. It's a big deal going on in a major way for the family. And, man, I tell you what, man, it's just awesome, man. But, yep, I'm on the clock. And it's a lot, man. A lot of people. We got 20 teams in this, so it's going to be deep, man. It's going to be deep in the building, man. Okay. So you know who I got going on, man. You know, I got it, man. I got it. Drew Brees, man. I got to draft Drew, man. I put Drew in the draft. And that's what I'm talking about, baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm a ride die with the black and gold, baby. That's what I do, baby. That's how I go. But big ups to Derek Summerfield. Who that, baby? Contrail, who that to your Scoob? We're in the building. Teal the legend. Who that, baby? Who that? He said, who you took? You took my pick. Say, bro, I took the man, man. That's the man. I represent the man. The man is Drew Brees, baby. Come on now, Big Q. If I passed over Drew Brees, what kind of do you turn? You'll subscribe from the channel if I chose Matt Ryan over Drew Brees. Come on, you know that'd be messed up. Dada, who that, baby? Who that? The family in the building. Like I said, I'd like to give a shout out to all the family members that's participating in the first annual Sports Coma 20-team. I never did a 20-teamer, man. Even playing fantasy league, never did 20 teams. It's amazing. But anyway, family, while the family's making their picks here, and I'm gonna kind of go over some of the picks some of the family members are doing thus far in the game. Of course, we got, man, a bunch of guys making the picks in the building. Dat Driver's coming up there. Who's on the Dat Driver's up next? The DAT Driver. Then Freshco 504. The Basin Ballers, 12-4 Saints, SB Champs is going down, man, as the fantasy draft gets underway, baby. Now, a little news to report to the family, too, as the draft is kind of rolling down here. I won't talk about. Let me get my stuff up here. Now, I don't know if most of the family members are aware, but the New Orleans Saints have made a trade, man. And we've traded Vince Bajel, to the Miami Dolphins for Kiko Alonso. So I don't know if most of the family are aware of that, but let me sprinkle a little game on you. It just occurred maybe a couple hours ago. It was reported, I think, at 11. But less than 24 hours after making the trade, the Dolphins are kind of moving everybody out of this joint, and they picking up some happenings. But the Saints have made a trade with the Dolphins and have traded in exchange for Vance Bajel. According to Ian Rappaport, the Saints have acquired Kiko Alonso. That's right, Kiko Alonso, the linebacker. And Alonso, who's 29, spent the last 3 seasons in Miami, amassed 355 tackles, 6 fumbles, 11 pass deflections, 5 interceptions, and 1 sack in that span. Good numbers for a player at that position, but perhaps more impressive is the fact that Alonso started 46 of possible 48 regular season games. Pretty good. He was a former second-round pick by the Bills in 2013. Alonso put together an impressive rookie campaign, in which he had 159 tackles, 2 sacks, 4 pass deflections, 4 interceptions, and being sidelined all the 2014 season after he tore that ACL. He was traded to the Eagles for McCoy. Then the following year, he played in 11 games before being dealt to the Dolphins. Now, Bajer, 26, was drafted in the 4th round by the Packers in 2017 and played 9 games that season after dealing with a foot injury. He was waived prior to the start of the last season and claimed by the Saints while he joined the practice squad before eventually being promoted to that active roster. Bajer appeared in 14 games with the black and gold and contributed 4 tackles, mostly on special teams. But he was looking like a guy that the Saints were looking at addressing. So that's a trade just to let the family be aware of, is that Kiko Alonso was acquired by New Orleans, and the only thing they gave up is Vince Bajer to acquire him. So what the family think about that? Y'all chime in, family, after all of this great blockbuster news. And we was fortunate that we came on, we kind of pushed the podcast back. We had some issues with tech, but ultimately worked out because we were able to cover the cuts right up to the 3 o'clock deadline yesterday, which is pretty good in getting all those all that information in there for the family. So, man, it's just been tremendous, man, and a great time to be a black and gold member. A lot of surprises going on in Major Cabela. So, all right, I'm on. Swade says I'm on the clock. Let's see who else I can acquire here. I got my boy.
Your team is now on the clock.
Do some help here. So let's see how that works here. If I can get my computer to there we go. All right. Wow. All right. Let's see here. Oh, man, look at all this going on here. Look at all these great players, man. Man, wow. You know what, though, family? I've drafted this man several straight years, and he's been a fantasy stud for me. And I'm going to have to give Drew some help. And, come on. There we go. I don't have to even take all that time. I'll pass it on to you, Elite Goods, and let you do it, baby. Adam Thielen. That's the Drew. I'll give Drew some weapons. I picked up Adam Thielen. But hey, that family, Dada, school. Okay, Dada said, what's good, BQ, and the young men and the young Who-Dats in the building behind me. The future sports Coma family members. You know, the next generation of youngsters that's going to be giving the Atlanta and Carolina Panthers youngsters hell. So there we go. Scoop says, Big Q. Scoop said, with massive strapping fellas. These are my 2 sons here, Rob and G. Let's see, Paul. Who that? Mr. Q. What it do? What's up, Paul? How you doing, family? Who that to you, Dada? Who that to you, Crass? What's good with the family, man? Paul said Alonzo will give depth and give Davis some rest. And what's up, Big Ed? Who that, my man? Who that to your family? And that's some of the things we talking about too, family, because you look at it, man, and you deal with a lot of stuff dealing with the Falcons. I mean, not with the Falcons, with the Saints, and they have Kiko Alonso was pretty good when he was actually with the Atlanta, not the Atlanta, when he was with Philly, and that ultimately what kind of helped him out as well. You know, he was productive. He had that injury early on, but you got to look at it too, man. Demario Davis, man, to me is an awesome player. And he reminds me so much of Demario Davis insofar as, you know, we don't expect Kiko Alonso to come in and break. But, I mean, what does this mean for Kiko Alonso is not just a depth signing. I mean, he's a guy that can actually start for you. So if that's the case, you know, what does that mean to the rest of our linebacker depth that we don't know anything about? Who that, Tramal? What does it mean? The acquisition of Kiko Alonso, it's just, it kind of floors me for a second because I don't know exactly, you know, how that plays into the depth situation because we don't have all the facts dealing with, you know, what the hell going on with the rest of the linebacking core injuries as far as the injuries are concerned. You know, what's the deal with that? What's happening with Alex Anzalone? What's happening with Craig Robertson? How extensive are these injuries for the Saints to acquire Kiko Alonso? I don't know if you could say he's just a depth guy, because that trade helps New Orleans more so than it does Miami. Insofar as that, I think Kiko is a better player than Vince Biagel. No disrespect to Vince Biagel, but look at the statistics between the two. Kiko Alonso showing you that he could play this game, and then he's not missed any time over the last 40-something odd games. So, I mean, that's what's going on. Who that, Mike? Who that to you, my man? Who that, Toby? Welcome to the live stream. Tramal says, Big Q, why you cost Dan on his job? I said, bro, you know what, Tramal? I said, man, it can't be totally on me and the family. I was just pointing out the fact. If it really was on me, and I would take responsibility for that hit, if and only if they would have released him right after the Super Bowl. But they didn't. They held on to him all the way up, and then they even let him start getting better. He looked better over the last 2 weeks and ultimately went over and started doing it. So, I mean, that's what it comes down to. We have to understand that, man, is that, we have a lot of stuff dealing with this team that we need to focus on. And that's what it comes down to. J.C. Mason, who that, baby? He said Granderson must be a beast because he's somehow still on the roster. Granderson is still on the roster. He was placed on a special list on the roster. He wasn't released. He was put on a list, and he's still a member of the team. Or I don't like using the term property of the team, but that's pretty much what it is. If you look at the meat and potatoes of it, of like what these professional athletes are willing to do to make a check, they become property of the team. They can't do certain things that's ordained against the team, can't make certain comments that's not in lock and step with the mindset or the morale of the team. And you can understand that to a degree. Now, when it comes down to what he'll do or coming in there, sooner or later he gonna pop up. The dude gonna pop up some kind of way. That's all I got to say. And then when it happens, would it be the kickback from it? Will you have people that don't want him there? That's what I was saying early on, and I want to see exactly how that's going to play. So we're gonna have to keep an eye out on that, JC. But thank you, brother. Tramal said, you out here making roster decisions, Big Q. On in the fantasy league, cuz. On in the fantasy league. Gary, who that, man? Who that, Gary? Crash says Saints gave up a career special teamers who made 20 tackles in 23 games versus a guy, K.A., who has assembled 557 tackles in 73 games in addition to sacks and quite a few interceptions. I like the trade. Crash, you a smart dude like many of the fantastic Sports Coma family that's in the building. And I'm going to be honest with you. You are absolutely 1,000,000% right on this estimation. Once again, you come true with flying colors because it's a fair trade. I mean, it's a great trade. It's a win for the Saints organization, man, to get Kiko Alonso in here. And I'm not going to sit here and say Kiko Alonso is a guy that's he's going to be a depth guy. Or he's going to come in and be a backup linebacker. No, he might start that way. But Kiko Alonso can come in and contribute just like DeMario Davis did. I mean, the guy's fantastic. He's fantastic. He's a workhorse. But what does this mean to A.J. Klein? What does this mean to Alex Anzalone and Craig Robertson? What does it mean exclusively to Alex Anzalone and Craig Robertson, who both guys haven't played in a while, and they haven't been any official anything saying to the deal that he's going to be a guy that's that they're hurt, that's going to miss out on time. We just don't have enough information, man. Sean's paying very tight-lipped with that information, but it's very telling to trade to get Kiko Alonso. Where does he fit? And I'm concerned. The thing is, what kind of injuries do they have? That's the question mark. And I've been all over the place, haven't found anything. We gonna get that information soon, so trust and believe that. Thank you, Crash. Scoop says, "What's up, Dada?" 985 said, "Jay, what's happening, baby?" Said Dan Arnold looking sad right now. He gonna find a job, Jay. Somebody gonna give him a shot. It might be the Stank Up Dirty Birds.
Your team is now on the clock.
End up giving him a job. Who knows, brother? But Crash Scoob is in the building. And hold on, fam, just a second. I was anointed. I'm on the clock. Family. We're doing the Sports Coma Fantasy Live draft, and I wanted to get the family involved in that, man, and let everybody know, man, that we are, we representing and we are here, man. Look at this. Look at these players here, man. And I'm looking at it. Jared Cook sitting right there in my face. It's Kelvin Ridley, Darius Geis, Tariq Cohen. Man, I got 20 seconds. Who I get? I gotta go with the man. I got to 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 go with the man. I got the man. I got Jared Cook, baby. I had to go with him. I'm black and gold, baby, to the core. All right, family, let's keep it moving. All right, he said, let's see what the family commenting on here. People don't get an uproar. J.C. Mason says, people won't get in an uproar because the Granderson charges long as he don't kneel. You can touch the girls and make them cry 8 ways from Tuesday, but just as long as he don't take a knee, huh? J.C. Mason, I hear you, baby. It's a funny world we live in, man, but it's all about perspectives, man, and what side of the fence you're on. You know what I'm saying? And we don't have to share the same views or agree with stuff all the time. I'm pretty sure I say stuff that the family don't agree with. They might not agree with what my stance on Taysom Hill, or I might say that he might feel. I might think this guy's better than that guy, and the family might disagree. But at the same time, at least we having a conversation. We could respectfully, voice our differences, in a peaceful and respectful way. I think that's a part of it. You know what I'm saying, family? And that's why I got love for all my black and gold sports Coma family members, man, because that's what we do. Respectful of one another, and that's how we do, But let's see, Tramal, who that? Tramal said Alonzo must stay healthy, though. He been healthy, though, to be honest with you, that Tramal. He's been healthy. He had that injury early on, but he shook back from that, and he's been real productive down in Miami. He really have. This is a really solid move for the Saints linebacking core. Get him. But I want to know exactly what does that mean in terms of the health to the other players in the building. What does it mean? What the hell does it mean? You know what I'm saying? How hurt is Craig Robinson? How hurt is Alex Anzalone? What's really going on there? We just don't have enough information to assess that. Crash says, okay, he talking to school. Paul said the linebacker must be in trouble at this spot. Saints are not wanting to let go. Yeah, they made several acquisitions of undrafted guys and then ultimately decided to make this trade. But they still have, I believe, 4 spots remaining. Even swapping out Vance Vigil for Kiko Alonso. Still, last check, I think they have four open spots before they can get to the 53. We counted them down yesterday on the show. Tramal says Saints linebacker core in good shape. Big Ed says he's going to bring some vet leadership to the linebacking core. I agree with you, Big Ed. And you want to talk about vet leadership, DeMario Davis, A.J. Klein, all them dudes in there, that's a lot of veteran leadership and very productive linebacking core. The Saints getting ready this year. Big Ed said he's going to bring, okay, I got that. Crash says, Big Q, I see Butler and Humphrey went unclaimed. Do we invite them to the practice squad? Absolutely. We should be hearing something, family, between now and Monday, between 9 Labor Day about this Saints practice squad. You're going to start seeing some of those things filter in. So during this Sports Coma Fantasy League, we're going to find out information that's out there and kind of deliver it to the family today. But today to Labor Day, you should start hearing those guys clear waivers. They weren't claimed. Now it's time for those guys to come back to the practice squad. So that is a positive in a major capacity. J.C. Mason says, facts. He agrees with me. Tramal says, when Onyemata get back, who will the Saints release? I say Wes Horton. I agree with you. If Wes Horton, he got to go. Wes Horton, you got to go. You got to go. No doubt about it. Wes Horton's not really, I'm no disrespect for Wes, but I don't think Wes Horton's the man. Either he gets released by Onyemata, or when they bring Granderson back, he just spot holding for another dude, man. And sooner or later, who says he might even make it into the regular season, to be honest with you. What up, John? Who's going on? John T in the building. One love, Big Q, right back at you. My brother, John T. Who that to you, family? J.C. Mason said, Traquan don't seem to be growing as fast as I like to see, but that's my opinion. I absolutely agree with you, J.C. Mason. My friend, Traquan is really, he was supposed to show us something early on and shit. He did.
Your team is now on the clock.
Like I said before, the Saints are going to be patient with this guy, and we'll see how it goes. So here we go, family. I'm on the clock again. We're doing the first annual Sports Coma Fantasy League, and it's 20-team competition. Could you dig it? 20 people are in there, and I've never did a 20-team fantasy league before, but hey, man, it's just gravy to be doing it with the family members, man. And I like I said, I'm loving it. Suede, everybody's in the building, and we doing our thing. All right, so Let's see who's on the clock. All right, I need to get somebody. All right, okay. I like that guy there. Come on, if I can just get him to, if I can get him to go. There we go. And there it is. I got my next guy in there. That's right. Get it right. Understand the plan, brother. Understand the plan, my man. That's right. This is very exciting, man. It's pretty good, man. It's a pretty good draft. But yeah, back to the Saints stuff, man, going on. Swede don't understand why I just drafted Cooper Kupp, but he don't understand. That's right. He don't understand the power of Cooper Kupp. I got Adam Thielen in that mixture. You better watch out. All right, family, back to y'all. It says, let's see, 95 G. I'm with you on that, JC Mason. Crash says, Zigbo claimed by the Jaguars. Kind of knew that was going to happen when you put him out there. Paul says, Q, what do you see as a sure sign of trouble on the offensive line? What do you see as a sure sign of trouble on our offensive line, Paul asks. I mean, Paul, right now, if you take a look at what the Saints have, the front five is the best in pro football. Y'all guys know I've been saying that a billion times on this show. But when you get behind them, the best offensive lineman I said that the Saints had all after the offensive line was Cameron Tom. Cameron Tom built himself up to a very solid, really multi-purpose offensive line that could play center or guard. When he was placed on the injury reserve yesterday or the day before yesterday, that was absolutely a killer for me because none of those guys to me we in trouble as far as depth goes. Marshall Newhouse was also placed on the injury reserve, and they released Michael Ola. So I don't understand that. And Michael Ola was a pretty steady offensive line. He wasn't at first, but eventually he became pretty serviceable. But outside of that, who do you have? I mean, you got undrafted prospects, Ethan Greenwich, that's there. You have this other guy. You got Will Clapp, that's there. And I'm not hard on Will Clapp, but I think Tom was a little bit better. But they like Will. Will could play three positions as well, center guard, and you can kick him off the tackle if you need him to play. He's done that at LSU. And then at the back, any other backup offensive lineman, got Omame. Omame was the same dude that blocked out his own man. What the hell was that about? But anyway, I would have concerns about the offensive lineman depth, but I think the Saints might end up addressing that coming in the next couple of days. They got to. I mean, I wouldn't be exactly steady with that group of people they have as a reserve lineman. I'm just going to be honest with you. It became a real problem. It became real problematic for the team when it came down the stretch, man. Really interesting, man. Really interesting. And let's see, Tony, Tony? He says, are you going to miss Chris Banjo? Chris Banjo was fire he was energy in the bottle. What really doomed him was the fact that he just couldn't play safety in this league. He couldn't play safety in this league, and that's what really killed his potential here in the black and gold place. I mean, Saquon Hampton came in there, and then another dude that a lot of people are not talking about, like they're not talking about Austin Carr. Well, another dude they was talking about is JT Gray. JT Gray showed up. He was playing very well on the special teams. He also was a guy that was when he got an opportunity to play in the Saints defense, he was productive. He was all over the field making tackles, and that pretty much made Chris Banjo expendable. I mean, if you like Saquon Hampton, then you can say, well, Saquon Hampton's the reason they pushed him out, maybe long term. But right now it was JT Gray, in my opinion, because JT Gray outplayed him. He outplayed him in all the facets. And JT Gray is a solid young safety that came out of nowhere. I mean, so, like I say, Saquon Hampton's potential is there. And what he showed us early in camp, then he missed a bunch of games, but JT Gray kept playing. And I think the Saints seen JT Gray as a better option than Chris Banjo, a lot cheaper, so they made the difference to get him out of here. So that's just my analogy on Chris Banjo. But he'll catch on with somebody, you better believe it. Tramal said, Q, you said the Saints didn't reach 53 yet. How many spots need to be filled? Last time I checked, it was like 4 spots. We did the count on yesterday's show. We went down and I ran over it. I think it's like 4 spots remaining. I'm gonna have to check on that again, but I think it's 4 spots remaining. The trade is basically a player for a player, so it doesn't trade and it doesn't mean anything right there. But I think it's like 3 or 4 spots. I'm gonna go over it again and make sure. Let's see. JC Mason says we need to blow the helmets off of Houston. Big Q early. Yeah, we do, man. Houston, Deshaun Watson's a beast, man. And you already know about that fantastic receiver Hopkins out there, man. So Plus, that defense is mean and fast with J.J. Watt, who's healthy, so watch out. They are good. That defense is good. They've been accumulating running backs. They have Hopkins. They have the other guy on the other side, wide receiver. That's a pretty damn good team. The only thing they need to do is protect Watson. So, I mean, that's what it comes down to. But this is going to be a really good game. Remember, it's a Monday night affair. So, it's going to be a really good one. I'm glad to see it. You know, we get tested early. You're looking at teams like Houston. Then you're looking at Rams on the road. Then you have Dallas. Then you have, who's the other team? You got both Texas teams, Dallas and Houston, the Rams, and who am I missing, family? Who's the fourth team that we take on this? I'm going to have to go to my schedule again. But I know we started off with Houston. We got Dallas later on. We got the Rams, and I don't know. The family will fill me in. I'm going to have to pull up my depth chart for that. But we have 4 really good contests in the first month. And if we're a Super Bowl team, we got to get these teams out of here and get off to a fast start. So I agree with you there, family. Shandon, who that baby just came in, but Kiko, I know, brother, we were talking about it. We're going over it right now. Kiko Alonso, the Saints pick him up from the Dolphins for Vince Bigel, player for a player, and I think we got the best of the bunch. Out of that move, he's going to provide good, serious linebacker for the Saints, but it does pose a question is what's going on with Alex Anzalone and Craig Robertson for the Saints to make this move? You know, what's going on here? We'll find out. Big Ed said, you see LSU, bro? They killing. Yeah, they killing. I seen it, bro. You know, LSU is my other team, college team. I'm a LSU Tiger. I'm gonna tell you, bro. I'm from New Orleans. I'm born and raised down here, and my pro team is the Saints. My basketball team, the Pelicans, and my college team is LSU. Now Tulane is there for kicks and giggles. But when it comes down to real college football, LSU's been the stink. So for people that know your college team, LSU, baby, the Fighting Tigers. That's who I got here. Go Tigers. Go Tigers. Yeah, I want to get there. I got to get my Coach O voice back together. I got to get it together. Yeah, we go get this. Yeah, we go be the winner. We got to do everything. We got to do it. We got to whoop on them down there. Next thing you know, we're going to get the running game in there. I got to get my Coach O. See, I ain't do it in a while, but I got to get my Coach O back, voice back. Yeah, we got to do it. Yeah, go Tigers. Yeah, Tigers. We got to get it, man. We got it. I got to work on that. Who that audit said why they cut Tom and keep that no-name guard? They didn't cut Tom, bro. They put Tom on the injury list. They put him on the injury reserve. He's hurt. They didn't cut Cameron Tom. And I still think the Saints going to add a few players audit, but they didn't cut him. Paul says Saints better look for help on the O-line and the cuts around the league. I think they will. Paul Tramal says I think they banking on Nick Easton to fill Cameron Tom's spot. I sincerely hope not. I sincerely hope that's not the case, that they're not looking to bank on Cameron Tom for doing that. Because to be quite honest with you, man, Cameron Tom, I'm not still sold on Cameron Tom. You understand what I'm saying? You know, I'm still not sold on Cameron Tom. But, yeah, that's what it basically come down to, family. We're going to see what's going on, though, man. There's still a lot of moving parts and stuff that's happening right now, and we're going to find out. So I'd like to thank the family for joining us today. We are 30 minutes and 29, almost 30 minutes into our fantasy league that we got going on. We have a Sports Coma first annual fantasy league. Teal said this is stressful, Q. I know, bro. This is I said, man, I want to do something with the family. The fantasy league is 60. Every pick is 60 seconds long. We doing it. But you know what's funny about it, though, man, is the fact that, you know, I'm looking and I'm saying to myself, you know, the fact that the 20, I never done a 20. I was in leagues that was 10. I won my my fantasy league last year. But I was saying I want to do something with the family. Sway was the original one that gave me the idea. He said, you know what, bro, you need to do something with the family and go for what you know with that. So I said, you know what, let's do it. Let's do a 20-team league and then go from there.
Your team is now on the clock.
You know, really interesting that we doing that. So the Sports Coma Fantasy League family is underway. And as you could tell, man, we got a lot going on here. The Sports Coma Fantasy League. And I'm on the clock. I don't know if family can see I'm on the clock. But we on the clock right now. So let's see. I showed them. I got 40-something seconds left to go on the clock. It is quite stressful. It's a little different than what you are used to, I tell you what. And I mean, it's so many people that some of the best people are going, you know, so fast. And that's like the thing that's really like, wow, you know, so many people just getting the heck up out of here, you know. So I don't know, man. It's really, it's something else, you know. So I mean, we got it. So it's awesome, man. But we got we got it, bro. So it's a lot, man. Like I said, it is stressful, and you can see it right now. I'm showing the family right now some of the things that's going on right now in the Sports Coma Fantasy League, man. And the family wanted me to do a show, basically doing that, man, or pretty much bringing it in. But I mean, this is the fantastic thing about doing stuff with the family, man. I really appreciate the family for joining me here, for all those guys that's participating right now in the Sports Coma Fantasy League. So big ups to the family members on that end. Now, getting back into some in the information now, let's see what the family's saying is. I think they're banking on Easton. JC May says, loaded as we are, I feel like we're number one reliable wide receiver away from being unstoppable. That's true. JC, he says Seattle. Reno, what's up, Reno? He says, I believe that they're still looking for a swing tackle, at least one. I hope so. Revolt Control, what's happening, baby? Paul says, what if the Saints start off 2-5? I don't want to see. I hope that doesn't happen, Paul. But I think the Saints have the team. If they do start off 2-5, we can ultimately bust that up and get back on the winning side. But I really know we need to start off fast. If we got like a lot of games that we starting off are pretty tough starting up. But I mean, if we can get it happening and we can conquer that early, I think we'll be fine. Crash says LSU versus Texas next week. Good game right there. That's a big game, man. Two really top teams. LSU just demolished this other little Georgia Southern team or whatever they was called. I mean, literally destroyed them. And another thing, family, for those who like LSU football, we do a LSU show. It's called a Tough Tiger Talk. You know, that's a lot in there. That's a lot of T's, but you got to put the power in it behind it. It's called Tough Tiger Talk. Tough Tiger Talk. Tough Tiger Talk. That's the podcast. You can look it up on YouTube, man. I mean, there's several podcasts that we do. The Tough Tiger Talk podcast is that we put as much passion into the Tough Tiger Talk podcast. We do it the Sports Coma. And a lot of these podcasts came out of the Sports Coma because Sports Coma idea was really just a combination of different sports. And we covered everything from pro football to college football to basketball and boxing. When I was younger, I was been doing the boxing with my uncle. So we do the boxing and stuff as well. So all that, you can hear a lot of those podcasts, by the way, family. It's like, well, damn, I didn't know about that. You can listen to a lot of them podcasts on Spreaker.com. / the Sports Coma. You can go there and sign up. I seen a few of y'all did that. Thank you for the ones that did. But for those who don't know, you can go to that as well. Sign up, Spreaker.com / the Sports Coma, and you can sign up and get on there and go for what you know. You heard me? But that's one of the things we got going on. We got Swede in the building. He pops up here. And what's going on, Swede? Swede got his stuff. What's going on, Swede? Go get the chairs. So she can put his laptop up there. Go get one of the chairs. Yeah, but that's we doing it big, family. Got the fam in the building, and that's one of the things, man. At the end of the day, man, big time. But Till says this is stressful, Big Q. Tramal said you still live in New Orleans, Big Q in the building, baby. D Granger said, what up, Q? We need to bring Butler back and develop him. I think they're gonna do that, bro. They're going to definitely do that sooner or later. You should be hearing from that in the next round of cuts, to be quite honest with you. They'll bring some of those guys back. Daryl Snurling, what's happening, brother? He said, who that to you? He said, when does the practice squad list come out? It should be. It's not. They don't. They kind of, it filters in. You see what I'm saying? You should hear something about some of these players added between now and quite possibly Monday. So between now and Monday, you'll see a lot of that going on between those players. So, let's just pay attention to that, and that'll be coming out. Now, I'm going to do a scan of things that's going on.
Your team is now on the clock.
If that's the case or not, family. So we'll find out and see what's going on here moving forward. So let's get back into it. As here I come up, I'm up next on the Fantasy League here. And let's see here. It's a lot going on here, fam. You got 60 seconds to make a decision. Yeah, it's a lot going on here, family, and trying to make some stuff happen here. as far as the team is concerned, and put some people together, get something going on here in the Sports Coma Fantasy League here. Man, I'll tell you what, man. You know, we got a lot going on here, family. And I'm trying to find out and do some stuff. And Elite Goods is on the clock. So it's 20 teams, man. We got a 20-team fantasy league. Never done this before. It's something else because you can look at a guy like Mike Thomas or Elvin Kamara, and then you like, boom, then you go and you might not pick again for like 15 picks. Then all of the top people going. Then the next thing it's just like really, it's unlike anything that I've ever done before, to be quite honest with you, man. And it's something else, man. But you're seeing me, family, here as well. So Spreaker.com/thesportscoma. That's the link for to list all those other podcasts I was telling you guys about as well. Now to get back to one of the family's commentary, Revolt says we need to start fast. I have $1,000 on these first 2 games. Revolt putting the money up, man. I hope you win, brother. I hope you get it, because it's better to win than lose. But Dada says we win the first 4 games. I believe we're in a good spot from the start. No doubt about it, man. We got to smash the Texans. We got to take care of business with the Cowboys. We got to take care of business against them stinking rotten Rams. If we really consider ourselves a championship team, and there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to smash down on some of these other buffoonish teams and get them out of there, because some of these teams are definitely playoff teams. You can look at Texas. The Texans are going to be a playoff team. Dallas is looking at becoming the best team out of where they're playing from. The Rams was the NFC representative in the Super Bowl last year, despite what happened. But, we don't have Dan Arnold to cause us no problems anymore. We don't have all that foolishness no more. So what is it going to be? And I see Till said, what's Wade's fantasy name? His team is called the Eastern Eagles. He's a big-time Warren Easton guy. He went to school there. And Eastern Eagles, I think, is Swade's name in the fantasy league. So there you go. Donald McKenzie says, I told y'all we was going after Kiko Alonso. You did, Donald. Donald, you jumped in the chat yesterday and said Kiko Alonso, and I said that was a pretty good move. He was a solid linebacker, but give you credit for that. Good, big ups to Donald breaking out the crystal ball. Crash says, where are you from, bro? Oh, he was asked a question. Tramal says, Q, why we still hanging on to P.J. Williams? One of life's most curious questions, Tramal. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't understand why P.J. Williams is still here. And even the tougher question is, why is Ken Crawley still here? Why are these guys still here? I don't understand. And you had better play. He's like, who can unsit these guys? All those guys looked terrible. Patrick Robinson, truth be told, shouldn't be here. But I kept saying Kevon Webster played better than Ken Crawley. He played better than P.J. Williams in stretches, but they didn't want to keep him. They opted to get rid of Kevon Webster, an 8-year veteran with a Super Bowl ring who can help you with that depth. I just don't understand it either. I don't understand most of these moves. I don't understand why we went through all this rigmarole about Emmanuel Butler and Sammy Cobbs Jr. and also all these other wide receivers, ultimately for these guys to turn in and then release all of them. It's just like, what? And Devine Ezigbo, we got rid of Devine Ezigbo because he fumbled. That's not what they were saying. That was what some of the family was saying. And I'm saying to myself, that's ridiculous. That's the only thing he did wrong was one fumble. You're not going to cut him because he fumbled one time. He had several things that he did that was positive, including running, showing vision. That was absolutely no reason you should get rid of a guy like Devine Ezigbo unless you're trying to make a play on a bigger, more popular back, perhaps LaShawn McCoy and all this type of stuff. But there's no reason why Devine Ezigbo shouldn't be on this team. He did everything he was supposed to. Everything. He did everything he was supposed to. And if dropping the ball or fumbling or what have you is a prerequisite for not making the team, then why are we holding on to Traquan Smith? Why are we holding on to him? It's just absolutely insane to me. But we're going to find out exactly what the game plan is for the Saints, because Sean Payton is still manipulating and doing stuff as we move forward. So let's just be patient on that. Big Ed, I think Kiko was a piece we needed to go get that Super Bowl. I hope so, Big Ed. Daryl Sterling said, Baton Rouge in the house. Who that, Daryl? Down says, y'all know we traded for Kiko Alonso. Yep, we talking about it, brother. Paul says, I hope Us Wade not picking no bums in the fantasy league like boy. Vaughn Dunbar and Wesley Carroll. Oh, Reggie Sutton. All those is.
Mario Bates.
Oh man, Vaughn Dunbar.
Hey,
Vaughn
Dunbar was pretty good.
Vaughn Dunbar was not good,
His
man.
password, Q.
Vaughn Dunbar wasn't good, bro.
Vaughn, come on, man.
He was not good. He was not good, bro. Hold on, just a second. Just a second, family.
Just a second, fam. We got a lot going on over here at the Coma. This is the Fantasy Football Draft 2019, the first annual. You know what I'm saying? So we getting everything popping. There's a lot of computer moving, a lot of typing going on, a lot of betting. I'm trying to get this $150.
Give me something to drink in a cup. Thank you. Yeah, it's a lot going on, family. Thank y'all, man, for joining us here on the Sports Coma. And like I'm saying, we're doing the Sports Coma Fantasy League, man, and that's what it looks like here, family. And as you can see, we got Quiet Storm up on the clock, and he's making his choice, trying to decide on who he's going to go get. Behind him is Eyes Closed, Eastern Eagles, Riddick. Jerome is in there, Team 504 in the ATL. I think that's Devin. Captain Who That Magic is in the building, Saved and Sanctified. I think that's my boy. That's Derek there, I think. Elite Goods. And then, of course, the Sport Coma King Whodats is my team is in the building. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, perhaps 8 picks before I pick again. So a lot of stuff going on, man. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, fill this up. Water, juice, whatever. All right, family. That's pretty much what we're doing. Juice.
All right.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we're doing, family. For Sports Coma Fantasy League is in full effect. Feel free to ask any questions, family, that we have going on here, and we'll answer them to our best of our ability here. In a moment, we'll open up the phone lines and have so the family can call in too. Give me your thoughts on the cuts and moves that we're making on the Sports Coma Fantasy League draft, man. You know, call us about, we'll open the phones in a few minutes so this family can feel free to call in and voice your concerns about the moves the Saints have made over the last several days, including cuts and everything else. How you feel about it? The trade to Kiko Alonso to and Vince Bidel trade, how do you feel about that? All that is going on today on the Sports Coma live stream fantasy football show mixed in with the podcast. A lot going on. It's gumbo. Is it? Yeah, this Coach O. This Coach O. I gotta get my Coach O together.
The juice. Don't do that.
Go Tigers. Go Tigers. Yeah, baby, we got that. That's like Wolfman, the old Wolfman or something. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Old Wolfman Jack. Yeah, baby, we got to get it, baby. Old Wolfman, old DJ from back in the day. But anyway, family, back to y'all. Let's see what the family chiming in here. Let's see. Paul said if Breeze gets hurt, the Saints are in big trouble. We can't let that happen, Paul. We can't start out 2-5. We can't let Breeze get hurt. We got to protect that. Dada says he wanted to keep Kayvon Webster. I'm with you on that, Dada. We should have kept him. Jamal says Crawley must be kissing Dennis Allen's butt to stay on the tee. He must Ken Crawley before you walk. It must be the MVP of brown nosing. Ain't no doubt about it because he damn sure.
Your team is now on the clock.
So, I mean, hey man, it's what it is, brother. You know we have to pay attention to that. All right, the Sports Coma is on the clock here, man. And I'm just telling you, man, this is just a lot going on. This is really crazy. All this stuff that's going on, man, with the team, man. It's absolutely insane. And a lot of people say, yeah, Q, this is pretty stressful. But like I said, family, I've never done a draft with this many people. You know what I'm saying? Never done it before. But it's interesting to see just how things are flowing, man. And then, sheesh, you know. And I'm looking at a few, man. I like Jimmy Garoppolo. I like Stratford. I don't know, man. I don't know if I could trust old Jimmy G. I don't know. He gets hurt a lot. Matthew Stafford, I might have to roll with him on that. He reminds me of poor man's Drew. Thank you. So here we go, family. As you can see, we're gonna win. I'm gonna win this thing, man. I'm gonna try. Well, if I win, it don't matter if I win or lose, baby. Dealing with it, it don't matter, man. I'm just having fun doing it. That's the main thing. That I have fun doing it. That's what it comes down to. And whoever wins it, man, congratulations to you at the end of the day. It's gonna be fun, man. But anyway, family, let's answer some more of the questions in the building here. He says, Ken Crawley must be okay. I got Till says I would take PJ over Crawley any day. True that PJ makes plays. He does. Ken Crawley gets burnt. The Crass is asking Q, do you expect the Saints to bring in another vet receiver, especially at the slot position? I'm not sold on Austin Carr. No doubt about it. I'm gonna be quite honest with you on that, Crass. It's still that Dez Bryant element lurking about. Dez Bryant did say the first team he would call would be the Saints. Could that be at play right here? There are a lot of veteran wide receivers that are on the block as well that we need to pay attention to. I really do think the Saints are kind of looking around to see what they could find in terms of that, in terms of things like that. We'll see exactly how that's going on. Who that Jared Slack? How you doing, baby? Devin says Crawley and PJ should definitely be gone, no doubt about it. Who that Robert? Dada says, I hope we find another experienced cornerback who could challenge Crawley, PJ Williams, and Robinson. Robinson turned out to be really bad, man. He turned out to be really bad. A bad experience for us in that regard. So we'll see. Dada says, crap, I'm thinking Dez may get another shot at wide receiver spot. It's definitely looking like that, to be quite honest with you, man, because I tell you no different. Dez Bryant is in here lurking around some kind of way. I'm just going to be honest with y'all on that. He lurking about some kind of way in this whole decision-making process. And when he calls, you think the Saints going to say, no, we don't need you? They're going to bring that guy in here, man. They're going to bring him in here because if he's healthy and you plan him at the slot, I don't need him to do a lot. But it's just the fact that he's there. His presence and what he can represent. He might not be fast like he used to be, but his hands ain't going nowhere. And that's really all you need. You don't need him to be a burner tearing up the field. If you put Dez Bryant in the slot currently, if you put Dez Bryant in the slot right now, that's really a solid slot man for you, catching the ball along with Jared Cook running around in there. I'm telling you, the Saints could be building something spectacular, man.
Spectacular.
So we'll pay attention to that as well. But let's keep going on with the family. Paul says, Q, who the Saints long snapper? Zach Wood is his name there. Paul, Zach Wood is the long snapper for the team. Scoob said Dad said he wants to make his comeback in October. Thank you, Scoob. I knew it was something like that, but the Saints, let's pay attention to see what it was. A lot of people thought Kenny Stills would be in the future. I said, nah, I don't think that's going to happen. Because if they really wanted them, look, they just traded with the Dolphins. They got Kiko Alonso. They could have easily acquired Kenny Stills if they wanted. They don't want Kenny Stills here. That's what I was telling the family. We had him here already, and he wasn't a problem like in terms of like a social justice, whatever you want to call him. He wasn't that guy, but he was doing all kind of other stuff that was messing with the locker room. And Sean Payton said, no, you got to get the hell out of here. So he packed and shipped his butt right up out of here. And I don't know why he would want to bring him back. When you have other receivers that you could use as just as talented as him. So interesting, man, to say the least, that's going on. But ultimately, we'll figure it out.
Your team is now on the clock.
We'll find it out. But moving forward, as I turned up back on the clock, I'm back on the clock here, family. As you can see, we are doing the Sports Coma Fantasy Draft, man, right now. First annual, 20 teams. Oh, man, 20-team fantasy draft, man. It's absolutely insane. A lot of the family like, man, Q, what is going on? Listen here. What's going on? A 30-team fantasy, man. Are you kidding me, bro? How is this even going on? How is this possible? I ain't gonna lie to you, family. It's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy because I'm looking at him like, damn, who am I gonna pick? And I got like 10 seconds left in this joker. I don't know who I'm gonna pick here. I don't even know. I'm going to have to go with this guy. I'm going to go with Justin Jackson. He played really well. I like Justin Jackson. So we're going to see. Okay, we got Justin Jackson in the building, filling them out. So there you go, family. Sport Coma Fantasy League on the building. Sharing that with the family. It's going to Fantasy Coma. But also covering other news of the day besides as we doing it. The trade of Kiko Alonso and Vince Bydra to the Saints. What does it mean, family? As the more family chimes in the building. Let's see. Donald says, haven't seen any big names let go yet. Nothing big. Dez is done. That's what Tramal says. Scoop says that's when we will add our veteran receiver. Robert says everybody I know is upset about Crawley. DJ, what up, DJ? Who that, baby? DJ in the building. Been a while, brother. Donald McKenzie said, what do y'all think about Teez Tabor? Teez Tabor is a pretty good defensive back. He's not bad. Tramal says P-Rob might get cut next year. P-Rob they got no choice to get rid of it. He only P-Rob and both. P-Rob to me. Well, let's see what he do into the regular season, because this could be some rust factor. I still say, you know what? I just don't see how he go from up here playing like this in Philly to back where he was when he started from the Saints. Just lost, getting confused, and not knowing what to do, and all this kind of stuff. I still won't wait on the P-Rob thing. Okay, DJ, what up to you, fam? Kevin Reed says Saints got a big big move coming soon, no doubt about it. Who that to you, Kevin? Robert said, I heard Crawley is blackmailing the organization, probably. So I'm telling you, whatever Crawley has, he got it from Tommy Lee Lewis before he left. He said, here, see this envelope right here? This envelope right here got all the secrets in it, baby. You take that, and then you tell Sean Payton you got it, and then you be able to have a spot on it. You be able to keep on the team. That's what he got. Let's see, said Scoop says Ken Crawley's first year was outstanding. Then after that, lost the confidence, fell through the floor, and ever since then, we've been toasting them and lambasting them ever since. A man can play good in preseason, but then when you get to a regular season game, forget all the fundamentals, knowing how to play the ball as opposed to the cornerback. Then he stopped looking for making plays and started looking for not getting burnt. That's what happened. Deion Sanders said it the clearest. He said some cornerbacks look to make a play, other cornerbacks look to not to get burnt. And Crawley and PJ is one of those dudes that look to not get burnt. You got to make a play on the damn ball. You got to make a play. Bat the ball away. Try to intercept the ball. They so crazy they'll try to tackle you into an incompletion. What kind of fool is that? What kind of foolhardy crap is that? I'm going to tackle you into an incompletion. No, fool, knock the ball away. Do something. Don't stand up there and let the man toast you. But, that's why they traded for Eli Apple, because Ken Crawley was so pathetic. They was like, man, this dude is absolutely pathetic. How you play 4 years of defensive back in Colorado, come here, look good, be in the same system pretty much through your whole span of time, and be regressing in development? How's that work? How's that work unless it's psychological up in here? I don't know. Everything I do, I don't know if I should make this plan. I mean, come on, man. You either play or you don't. Get up out of there. It's not hard. It's not hard. Make a play on the ball or move out the way and let somebody else that know what they're doing do it. That's what it comes down to, in my opinion. God damn it. I mean, I don't mean to get all blown about it, but no, it's not rocket science. I said this yesterday. It's not quantum physics. It's not rocket science. It's football. It's a child's game. Come on, man. It's not complicated, man. Either make the play or get your ass out the way and let somebody else do it. All right, sorry for getting hot right quick. Ken Crawley's first year was outstanding. Tramal says Ken Crawley make the team next year. I swear I'm protesting outside the Superdome. No, Ken Crawley only have 1 year left on his contract. Him and PJ Williams. So next year, those guys are undrafted free agents. They are done. They're toast. They're out of here. So we only got 1 year left for those bums, and they can go and keep it stepping. Dada says, what big move are you talking and joking? He was talking to the other guy. DJL says, where are you? He said, when are you open up choke lines? The phone lines. They'll be open up in a minute. DJ will let you know. Paul says, Q, don't be surprised if the Cowboys release Ezekiel Elliott. I would be surprised if they did release them, Paul, to be quite honest with you, because without Zeke Elliott running the ball for Dallas, there's not a contending team. I'm to tell you what, they need him and Dak Prescott. They need those guys together. They need Cooper. They need all those guys if they're going to be a contender for anything. Zeke Elliott knows his value. And it's Jerry Jones' job to make him understand that I know you see your value, but this is what I think your value is. And that's where the balance is, because, you look at what happened with Mike Thomas' situation, and a lot of these guys are looking at the other guys' competition. I'll treat what he had. I want what he had. I think I'm better than him. I want what he had. He had this. I want this. I want this over here. I don't know. No, you know what? I'm better than him. I had more stats than him. I ran more yards than him. I caught more touchdowns than him. So I must get more money than him. That's how it worked. So that's how they do. It's almost like Snagglepuss. Like those Snagglepuss creature, y'all remember that? I know Paul remember those Snagglepuss cartoons. when they used to do it. It's just foolishness. It's like they men, but you're playing a children game, so a lot of the stuff that they're doing is almost like childish. Like what Antonio Brown doing, talking about he gonna retire over a helmet. Oh, I can't have my old helmet. Then I'm gonna retire. I'm not gonna do it. I ain't gonna play no football no more because I can't wear my old helmet. Come on, man, get out of here. Get out of here with that. You making all this money and you gonna leave because you can't wear your old helmet. Absolutely insane and foolhardy. But Zeke Elliott's gonna get that money. You better believe it. Even though Jerry Jones might not see his value like that, trust me, he's not gonna lose that man. Without Zeke Elliott, they don't have a Super Bowl team. That's just what it is, in my opinion. Talking about the Cowgirls. Okay, Will Musgrave. Who that, Will? He said, hit the like button. Thank you, Will. Appreciate it. All the family members in the chat, please do me a service and hit the like button right now, family. Hit that thumbs up button, if you please, and hit that button, and let's go from there. So, so that we can continue to build the show and move forward. So hit the like button, please, to help your boy out and the platform out. Also, if you're not a subscriber, feel free to hit the subscribe button and the notification button. And share the link. Another really important thing to do is when you share the show link, it really helps out the podcast and helps out the family tremendously as we continue to get to more family members. So feel free to do that to help the platform out as well. Let's keep it going. Tramal says Jerry Jones will bend over backwards to keep Zeke. I know it. He doesn't have a championship team without him. He and I know that. But you're going to play hard to get. So we how it is. Charles Williams, who that baby, says no more Dan Arnold. Thank goodness for that he's gone. He was a guy. He started playing better toward the end of his career, but Dan Arnold cost us so much. He cost us a trip to the Super Bowl when he dropped that touchdown pass. And I can't get some people, they're starting to realize that, because every time I talk to a sensitive Saints fan about the game, like, oh no, it's the referee, and I have to keep telling them, you remember I said no, it wasn't. The referee wasn't the main reason why you lost the game. It wasn't the referee. I said, what happened if you a guy and you're playing an NFC championship game and your guy drops a touchdown in a close game, you would go to that play before you go to the referee. But the referee play was so stamping that it just stamped itself on Saints people's minds. And I kept telling people over and over again, no, listen, the referee, you can't count on the referee to help you win games. Even Sean Payton said that after the game was over with. He said, listen, we don't play for the officials to help us. We have to pretend like they're not there, and we have to go out there and play mistake-free football. We have to play mistake-free football. You cannot count on the referees to help you. It was a terrible, crappy, disgusting no call.
Your team is now on the clock.
In the end, had Dan Arnold caught that ball, guess who would be going into playing in the Patriots in the Super Bowl? It'd have been the New Orleans Saints, baby. That's right, we'd have been there, baby. Now getting into here, I'm back on the clock, and man, I'm looking around, man, and I mean, good grief, man, there's really thin pickings all around up in this piece here, just looking at it, man, and wow, really thin pickings. Looking around up in here. Oh man. Yep, but I tell you what though, family, it's fun, man, to be honest with you. There you go. That's right, boy. John Brown. That's an old school name from back in the days. You got a name like that. That's an old school name. John Brown. But anyway, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us on the Sports Coma Fantasy League family. What we're doing our Fantasy League while we releasing the news, the latest Saints news, the trade news about Zeke. Not about Zeke. I'm thinking about Zeke Elliott. But the latest news that occurred dealing with the Saints and the trade, Dolphins, the Saints agreed to trade. The Dolphins agreed to trade Kiko Alonso to the Saints. And basically this was reported by NFLnetwork.com and Ian Rappaport that Alonso was basically a swap between the Saints and Vance Beigel. And now Alonso's stats in Miami for the past 3 seasons, 355 tackles, 6 forced fumbles, 11 pass defense, 5 interceptions, 1 sack in that span. Pretty good. He was a second-round pick by the Bills in 2013. In his rookie campaign, he had 159 tackles, 2 sacks, 4 pass deflections, 4 interceptions before being sidelined in 2014 after ACL. Then he was traded to the Eagles for LaShawn McCoy and played 11 games before being dealt to the Dolphins in 2016. That's some of the stats on him. Now, they're giving up, and we know who Vince Vigil is, but the reality at the end of the day is the Saints continue to add on to the team despite a really surprising number of moves that was made in yesterday, releasing some players that a lot of people felt they shouldn't have been released. And then, of course, it's just absolutely insane to me why we went over all these fantastic players and then literally come back and find out that all the ones that they say were doing the right things got cut. There's no rhyme or reason to it at all. Okay, current news right now as it stands, player Alizé Mack and LaJordan Humphrey's family, just to give y'all the information. Alizé Mack and LaJordan Humphrey has been added to the practice squad. Okay, just to give y'all that information, family, I'm going to say it again. Alizé Mack and LaJordan Humphreys were signed to the Saints practice squad today. Now, the Saints are limited to 10 players on their practice squad, but just to give you the heads up, if you hadn't already heard, breaking news here is that the Saints have signed Alizé Mack and LaJordan Humphreys to the practice squad. So for people that was asking about the practice squad players, I think, Charles, you were one of them. The Saints are adding players to the practice squad, 2 of which we now have Alizé Mack and LaJordan Humphrey added to the practice squad. So there you go, family. A little information for you there. Just to let you know that. Humphreys.
Your team is now on the clock.
Are now at LaJordan Humphreys and Alizé Mack are now on the practice squad for the New Orleans Saints. So there you go, family. Just to let you know. Crash said, I hope we're wrong, but I got a sneaky suspicion Dan Arnold returns to the practice squad. We'll pay attention to that. Renault says, sorry, man, can't hit it twice. LOL. Thank you, Renault. Thank you, buddy. I know if you could, you would, brother. Thank you for what you do. Tremal says, let's trade Crawley to a team for a 7-round pick. Who gonna give up a 7-round pick for him, Tremal? Who gonna do that, brother? I know. I'm most certain I wouldn't waste the pick on him. I mean, I don't. Why? You know, I mean, they wouldn't have me. If you gave them away, they wouldn't take them. Huh? You saying we're on the clock? All right, we're about to get back on the clock. All right, family, I'm getting back on the clock. All right, here we go. We're going back on the clock. I'm on the clock again. Man, I tell you, man, this is fast and furious stuff going on here at the Sports Coma Fantasy League. And I tell you what, man. Was that just... Okay, I must have missed my pick here talking. Okay, so let's see. Who picked it? What picked?
You picked Mike Davis.
Mike Davis, the running back. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Anyway, let's keep it going, family. Back to it. LaJordan Humphrey, Alizé Mack were added to the practice squad. For the family members who didn't know, they are added to the practice squad. That was and if anybody wants to know what are my sources, that's NOLA.com reporting that as the Saints add them. Now, NOLA.com reported Alizé Mack, LaJordan Humphrey added to the practice squad. So there you go, family. And before I open up the phone lines, let's go over the 50-man roster if we could. I'm going to try to go over that. Just give me a second here. Let's see here. Got a lot of all these windows here. Let's see if we can close some of these windows here. We got here. All right. All right, let's see here. All right, let me go over the Saints schedule I had already up. See, I'll be ahead of myself. Monday night, they have the Houston Texans in the Dome. That's on ESPN. Week 2, the Saints then travel to the Rams to take on them out there in Los Angeles. Then Sunday, the following Sunday, the 22nd, they go to Seattle to face Russell Wilson and Jadeveon Clowney, who just was added. Then the 4th week, ending September, they come home for Dallas. So a very interesting stretch of games. Houston's going to be difficult. The Rams are the team we battled in the NFC. When we went out there to Los Angeles to play them a couple years ago, they were tough to beat there. We have to make sure we handle business. And then we go up to one of the toughest places in the NFL to play Seattle, which they're not the same Super Bowl team that they were, but they still have Russell Wilson running around there. We should be able to dispatch them. And then we had a heated rival in the Superdome against the Dallas Cowboys. So if we can come out of there 3-1 or possibly 4-0, I'd be really happy with that. That's just some information on the schedule as well. Now, looking at other information dealing with the Saints, like I said, I just told you about the Alizé Mack and LaJordan Humphreys signing. But, I mean, I just tell you, man, the Saints are just Sean Payton is really, really making some things happen. Now, let's take a look at some of the 53 roster as it stands, right? Okay, you got Drew Brees, Teddy Bridgewater, Taysom Hill. Those are the top. That's the quarterbacks. Running backs are Kamara, Latavius Murray, and Dwayne Washington. That's the three right now. Fullback Zach Lyon. Wide receivers are Mike Thomas, Ted Ginn Jr., Traquan Smith, Keith Kirkwood, Austin Carr, and Deontay Harris. Not a bad mixture of people. Keith Kirkwood dealt with a lot of injuries during the training camp, but ultimately they've seen the high side in Keith Kirkwood. They knew enough for him. Solid pick. And then Austin Carr is the hands man. He catch everything he throw, plus he plays special teams. And then, of course, the speedster Deontay Harris. Or the wide receivers. Only two tight ends currently, which is Jared Cook and Josh Hill. Everybody else was shelved. Alizé Mack is now on the practice squad. Dan Arnold, no word on that yet. And, of course, Garrett Griffin was put on the IR. Offensive line, Teron Armstead, Ryan Ramczyk, Andrews Pete, Larry Warford, and Eric McCoy, followed by Nick Easton, Will Clapp, Patrick Omame, and Ethan Greenwich. And I don't understand why is Ethan Greenwich is another question why he's on this team. He spent a lot of time hurt. So why the hell is Ethan Greenwich on the team? It should have been, what's the other kid name that the Saints had that they released? They should have kept that guy, Derek Kelly. Derek, undrafted guy. If you want to keep anybody, why not keep Derek Kelly, who outplayed Ethan Greenwich, who was hurt most of the time? Some of that just doesn't make any sense to me. The defensive ends, Cam Jordan, Marcus Davenport, Trey Hendrickson, and Wes Horton. To me, a lot of people I forgot who it was, that said, Q, man, you crazy. Ziggy Hood is way better than Ziggy Hood is the worst player in the NFL. I just responded to a comment. I don't know who it was that said that to me in a comment section. Says, Q, you tripping. Ziggy Hood is the worst player in the league. And I'm like, Ziggy Hood was the worst player in the league, but he outplayed Wes Harden. He outplayed most of the guys, Porter Golson and Carbon Kafusi. He outplayed those guys in camp. So how the worst player in the NFL outplayed guys and even got a sack in the preseason? How is that even possible that he's the worst player in the league? I don't agree with that. I mean, but some people just see it how they see it. Defensive tackles with Malcolm Brown, Sheldon Rankins, Mario Edwards Jr., who shouldn't have made the team. He didn't do a damn thing, but he made it anyway. Taylor Stallworth and Shai Tuttle. That's the defensive tackles. Of course, David Onyemata's will serve that 1-game suspension, so we don't know what they're looking like. And then Sheldon Rankins is still no word on whether or not he'll play. I don't think they should play him in the first week, but then again, I don't know how healthy he is to go. I know you should require a lot more time from that to come from surgery, but maybe he's a fast starter. Linebackers, Demario Davis, Alex Anzalone, A.J. Klein, Craig Robinson, Vince Vigil has been swapped out for Kiko Alonso, and then it's Caden Ellis, the 6 linebackers. And then Ken Crawley. The defensive backs are Marshawn Lattimore, Eli Apple, P.J. Williams, Ken Crawley, Patrick Robinson, and Justin Hardy are the cornerbacks. And the question is, why in the hell is P.J. Williams and Ken Crawley on this team? But, you know, it is what it is. Then, of course, they have 5 safeties: Von Bell, Marcus Williams, T.J. Gray, C.J. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, and Saquon Hampton. And then 3 specialists, which is Thomas Morstead, Will Lutz, and Zach Wood. Now, injury reserve, Marcus Shrells, Marshall Newhouse, and Cam Tom were put on the IR. You got one guy added to the reserve, suspended by commissioner list, which is David Onyemata for that 1 game. And then you got an exempt commissioner permission player, which is correct.
Your team is now on the clock.
It does not count against the 53-player roster. The Saints have a 2-week window to decide on what to do with him. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to activate his ass and then push Wes Harden off the roster. Was that hard? Wasn't hard at all to determine that was a family. Not at all. Not at all to determine that. But anyway, that's the deal going on with the Saints as well. So before we open up the phone lines, man, let's just get a few more of the conversations from the family as we are doing our Sports Coma Fantasy League live. As you can see, a few of the things I've been periodically kind of jumping to and showing the family that we performing. We're doing the Sports Coma Fantasy League as we are. Let's see here. Is it still up here? Yep. I think it's still up here. There we go. Yep. And I'm way down there. I don't pick. Oh, where am I pick? Okay, I picked. Yeah. All right. So. Yep. I'm. Let me see. Let's see, unchecked too. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right, we got a few more picks left here. Oh, yeah. Give me a second here, fam. I'm kind of do two things at once. Let's see. Nope, no all pick. All right, here we go. All right, back to the commentary. Let's see. Reno says, where we're doing a drop off at. All right, let's trade Crawler. Okay, Daryl says, bro, always keeping it real for the Saints Nation. Devin Frank said they had to add them to the practice squad. LeJoy deserves to make the practice squad, says Tramal. I hope eBay makes the practice squad. We'll follow. Tramal says, you right, Big Q. Nobody wants Crawley. Get Revolt Control says, the only thing we could get back for Ken Crawl is a piece as a practice squad player. It's a sad reality. This man had playing time, but he regressed to the point where he done lost his confidence. He's not no good to any team until he can gain his confidence and play with fundamentals, man. I mean, it's just sad. Jamal said I would take Popeye's chicken sandwich over Crawley. That sandwich is hard to find. That's terrible. And Dada says Revolt, that's funny as hell. That is funny. Paul said, what if the Saints come out 2-2 in the first 4 games? 500? I don't prefer 500 to be quite honest with you, coming out like that. But at the same time, man, it's just what it is. I don't think they should come out 2-2. You know, I think 3-1 would be more likely, but if they do struggle in 2-2, 2-2 is not a bad bet because that 15 will be Tampa Bay, and they should be able to pick up on the right foot. So, still not scared of that. You know, at the end of the day, I think it'll be fine. But don't worry about that, Paul. I think we'll be okay. Let's keep it moving here.
Whoa!
What is it?
Nothing, man. We rolling, man.
All right, so let me see here. What if the Saints? Okay, Tramal says Chaz Green or Eric Flowers is the worst in the league. Dan Arnold is signed to BAK to PS. Is signed BAK to PS. What's that mean? What does that mean there, Radada? Sir Sean P. Who that family said, how we feel about Alonzo, what I missed so far. I'm not breaking down. We're doing our Sports Coma first annual fantasy league right now currently. And a lot of family got this 20 team fantasy league, so I've never done a 20 team fantasy league. A lot of stuff going on. It's going on fast and furious. A lot of people picking and drafting. I like to thank the family that signed up for the Sports Coma Fantasy League.
Your team is now on the clock.
So we got love for all the family members for doing that. But Kiko Alonso's a good move. If you go Kiko Alonso and Vince Bagel, who got the win? Who won that one? Easily the Saints won that. Alonso is a guy that can help you in many facets of the game. He's very productive. A lot of good tackles. This guy is a player, and this is definitely going to improve the defense. So it's going to be pretty good. I like the move to get him. Kevin Reed says wide receiver Carl must have a relative on staff. Butler has much greater upside. Practice squad, hopefully. He should make the practice squad, bro. Carr has been more of the people that has done a pretty decent job. I mean, in terms of doing some fantastic things. I'm just going to be honest with you, man. To be honest with you, you know, he has been a guy that has done terrific things, man. And I'm just going to tell you no different. You know, I'm just going to be honest with you. He did a pretty darn good job. And being consistent, and that's nobody gave Austin Carr credit. That was the thing, the little engine that could, and he did it. Think about it. I mean, I was saying that to his family. Listen, nobody's talking about Austin Carr. He's not big like Sammy Cobbs. He's not big like Emmanuel Butler. He's not big like all the rest of the wide receivers that they were talking about, the LeJoy Humphreys and all that kind of stuff. But what was he doing? What was his best ability? His best ability was his availability. Most of those other guys missed time. They were dropping passes. What was Austin Carr doing? Catching passes. He caught a touchdown, and he was there. He was available. That was something that most of those other guys wasn't giving you. So I'm not surprised by that. Wasn't surprised by that at all. The Saints seen and they kept a hold to him. So not bad if you're the black and gold, man. They got a guy that they like, and hopefully, you know, he can continue to be a guy that helps the team out in that capacity. So we'll see exactly what goes on moving forward, man. But also, it says, let's see, practice squad, Big Q, okay. Let's see, what did I drop off at here? Let's see. Reno said, you're on the clock. Yeah, I got it, bro. I just did it. Sway said we must be doing good on fantasy. Sway must be fantasy. He quiet back. Yeah, I don't know. Everybody kind of sweating bullets right now. He got a few more picks before he come up. I think he's sweating bullets on it. Let's flash in for the fantasy league so the family can see what's going on there. There goes Sway right here. He's picking in a couple of picks. Jerome's on the clock. Jerome pick. Riddick's on the clock right now. Sway coming up second. So he's on the clock right now. Sway must be sweating. That's what Paul said. Paul said you back there sweating bullets. He's sweating bullets here. He don't know what he's doing over here. He kind of trying to keep up.
I'm on the clock, man.
Sway's on the clock.
Well, I got 40 seconds left. Let me let y'all know it's over for y'all in fantasy. It's so over for y'all. Y'all ain't much new. Thank you, Rob, for letting me have that seat, bro.
All right. Sway's man. He's doing his draft. All right, let's keep it going, family. Revolt says, I'll bet anybody that Sway got. Look what Revolt Control Radio said. I bet anybody that Sway got Taysom on his fantasy team. You just gave the man an idea. Zigbo was claimed off of waivers by whom? Jacksonville. Thank you, Crashfield, man. Tramal, where did Butler go? Nowhere yet. There's no word on him. Butler to PS and NO practice squad and NO. I don't know. Is that accurate, bro? I'm gonna have to look that up. But I didn't hear anything yet. But it should be the case because if LaJordan Humphries and Alizé Mack land on the practice squad, they should be going on too. So let me refresh and see if they added anybody else. But it wouldn't surprise me that we just reported that Alizé Mack and Humphries both have been signed to the practice roster. So let's see if they did too. So just give me a second on that. Let's take a look at it. Yes, it is true, family. The family is reporting it. Emmanuel Butler has been added to the practice squad too. So 3 players on the Saints practice squad right now. Emmanuel Butler and LaJordan Humphries have made the practice squad along with Alizé Mack. So there you go, family. It's officialnola.com is the source to let you guys know if you want to look it up yourself. NOLA.com is reporting that the Saints have added Emmanuel Butler, LaJordan Humphries, and Alizé Mack. LaJordan Humphries to the practice squad. So there you go. All right.
Look, you got to get on this game. They're going to hold him down next year, though. If nobody don't come pick up Emmanuel Butler first.
All right.
Already gone, right?
Let's see here. Let's see the family here. Oh, just give me just a second here.
Let's see.
All right, they're saying, the family saying, hold on. All right, if I'm echoing family, I don't know what that is. It's not showing on this end. It did it at the last live stream. I'm going to have to go. I don't know what's that echo about. It goes in and comes out. I don't know what is that about. But if you could just deal with me, Flynn, for right now, we'll work through it, Dada. And any other family that is experiencing an echo, just kind of work with me. I don't know what that echo is about. It happened in the last live stream when it was echoing like that. I don't know what the hell that echo is about. It goes and it's coming. I don't know if it's from my end or it's through YouTube. I don't know what the heck is going on. I have to kind of go through things and kind of look at it again and see if I can find exactly what the problem is. So we'll see. As Shawade's team is on the clock, his fantasy league on top. So if I'm echoing family, please just deal with it for right now. And I promise you, at some time, I know I was experiencing that yesterday. We was doing that, and I listened to the live stream again yesterday, and it's like, what the hell is that all about? But it's like I was in the stadium or something. I don't know what that is about, but I'm gonna go over it, look it up, and check it out once the live stream ends. So if you can deal with it, please, just bear with us, and I'll make sure I get it corrected. Let's keep it going, family. Okay, Danny Grange is reporting that Arnold just got signed to the practice squad, so the Saints have brought Dan Arnold back, and I'm not mad about that because he does need a lot of practice. So the best place for a guy who needs a lot of practice is to be on the practice squad where the hell he belongs. And as long as he don't see in the field where he can't hurt us, I'm not upset about that. Dan Arnold could take that money and go to catch camp. and buy some hands with it. There you go. Take Dan Arnold, take your money that you get from practice squad, go cut off your hands and buy some new ones. Yeah, because you're gonna need that. It's might end up being that.
You coming up next?
All right, I'm coming up next. It's Wade on the practice. 50 seconds, and Elite Goods is in the building. Big ups to Elite, who's picking next. And man, I tell you, man.
This draft is something serious, right?
Yeah, this is serious. This is serious.
Down to the crumbs,
Yeah, this is. Yeah, but this is something else, though, bro. This is something else.
And while he's almost time for Q's pick, let me tell you who he has so far on his squad, if you don't mind.
No, not at all.
Let's see. Well, on defense, he has no one yet. Okay? But he does have the Cowboys defense.
I tried to get the Saints, but they were gone.
Right. At quarterback, he has Matt Stafford.
Your team is now on the clock.
He has Jackson for the Chargers. He also has Penny for the Seattle Seahawks at running back. Okay? Wide receiver, he has Cooper Kupp, and he has Thielen at wide receiver. After that, my man Q has Jared Cook and Shepard at receiver. So, I mean, he's pretty much sucking right now.
Hey, bro, that's not cool, bro.
Pretty much sucking right now.
You gonna tell me I'm sucking it even though I have Drew Brees?
Yeah, pretty much. Drew can't do it all, man. He's one player. I feel, you know what? And it's just draft. I have a Falcon running back.
Tevin Coleman.
Freeman.
Not bad.
Yeah, Devontae Freeman, dude. Now, well, let me show y'all who I am. Let me see how far I have before it's time for you to pick. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and see. I got my homeboy, right, and Jared Goff at quarterback. Devontae Freeman and Latavius Murray at running back. Aguilar and Fuller from Houston. William Fuller at receiver. Tight end, I have Jason Witten and Jimmy Graham. My defense is the Rams. Sorry. Defensive line, I have Lawrence and Jordan. Linebacker, I have Kendricks, and at defensive back, I have Malcolm Jenkins. So, I'm pretty good at it. Pretty settled, but now I'm getting to the crumbs. And it's crazy how this fantasy pick this year. It looked like they started with running back, and then they went running back and they left the quarterbacks up there for a while.
They went skill players first.
They went straight running back, receiver, and then linebacker. But it's good. We really rolled it.
It's a tough draft, man. It's really tough.
It ain't tough for me.
Tough draft. Your stuff ain't lining up all like great either, buddy. I would do. Let's see. Let's keep it going with the next commentary. As Dan Arnold has been at his official family, going back over that Dan Arnold, and Emmanuel Butler, Dan Arnold, Alizé Mack, and LaJordan Humphreys are now all on the practice squad. And I've said it should be like 8 players should get a few of the offensive linemen added to it as well. Most of these guys cleared it. Divine Zigbo was a guy officially that did not clear it. He was taken up by Jacksonville. So how about that? That's and I knew we would lose him. He was valuable. It was just a foolish move, but we'll see exactly what was that about. Because I think he was better than Dwayne Washington in many respects, man. And then you take him and say, well, yeah, and it's no justification for that, man. It's no justification for getting rid of Divine Zigbo, man.
You can't get rid of it. Would have been no justification to get rid of Dwayne Washington.
I wouldn't have said get rid of him.
There wouldn't have been any justification for getting rid of Dwayne. Dwayne doing anything wrong.
I didn't say it was. I wouldn't have got rid of Dwayne Washington either.
It was either or.
You saying that they just wanted to keep 3?
Right.
Okay.
So one of them had to go. And sorry.
Your team is now on the clock.
You can't just get rid of Washington like that.
I just don't like it. So let me ask you this then. You want to get rid of, so you say, okay, if it's between Divine Zigbo and Dwayne Washington, you would take Washington over Ezigbo, right? Mm-hmm. but then leave Ken Crawley on the team. No. I'm saying the mindset. Is it right?
You'd rather keep 4 running backs than a garbage cornerback?
That's right.
I would keep 4 running backs and then.
All right, then. See, that's what I'm saying. There's no justification for this. That's why we got janitors, and obviously Ken Crawley is the highest paid janitor in the NFL. There you go. I got it, and I understand perfectly. Let's keep it going. There's any news on Zigbo whereabouts? Robert's asking he's been claimed by the Jaguars. Jerome says, how much did I miss? So far, Jerome, we're covering, we have a first annual Sports Coma Fantasy Draft, and we're doing that right now. Keeping attention on that. Am I on the clock again? Okay.
You don't come to after me.
I think I just missed one.
You did?
I think I did. I don't know. We're going to keep it going, though. Keep an eye out for me, though, bro. Give me an alert because I'm talking every day. Gary says, Butler to the practice squad. Quincy. Who that, Quincy? A Zigbo picked up by the Jags. That's right. Jason says, need some help with your draft queue. I got you. Paul says, Q and Sway, who do y'all think will knock off New England and the AFC? The New Orleans Saints, baby. In the Superdome. Oh, I said, okay. In the NFC, in the AFC. I'm thinking Super Bowl. I look right past the AFC. The Chiefs, think the Chiefs?
I think the Chiefs, because I've been waiting on Houston to do it.
Houston, man, they need some help on the line first.
Right, but I think it'll be the Chiefs this year. It won't be Pittsburgh.
I'll give you two teams.
Don't say the Chargers, please.
How you know I was going to say the Chargers?
Everybody say the Chargers. The Chargers never showed their ass.
How you know I was going to say that?
Because everybody says the Chargers. And they've been waiting.
I was thinking the Chargers, but I'm saying with this whole Melvin Gordon thing, that's a big part of it. If Melvin Gordon's not there, I don't know if I can feel that way about him. So that's the question there.
But that was your team, the Chargers?
I was about to say the Chargers.
I'm going with Kansas City.
I said two teams. Two teams to me is the Chiefs and the Chargers. That's my call.
I'm sorry, with the computer. The Chargers, the Chiefs really had them last year.
Yeah.
For that old pump pass interference, roughing the quarterback call. But we can't get
Yeah, that's my two, Paul, and you hear what Swede says, so that's what we're looking at there. Where are we now? Who that, Marty? Marty in the building, what's happening? Gary said Broncos offensive lineman John LaGould to practice squad. Okay, thank you, Gary. Gary saying that the Saints have added another practice squad player. They'll be trickling in through most of the day. As we add them, like Emmanuel Butler, Dan Arnold, Alizé Mack, LaJordan Humphreys are added, and the hits keep on coming as the Saints continue to add to the practice squad thus far. So we're doing the Sports Coma Fantasy League. We also are doing covering the Saints practice squad edition, among other things, as we are moving ahead. So we're going to keep an eye on a lot of this. Also, other news is that the Saints acquired Kiko Alonso from the Dolphins in exchange for Vince Bydel. I like Kiko Alonso. I think he provides a good, solid depth signing for the team. So what you mean? The Dolphins are in rebuild mode, man. They get rid of a lot of talent. They get rid of a lot. Well, I mean, I can't justify them trading. The only thing I could do is look at my squad that says, you know, did they get the better of the move? And that's what I'm more concerned with. Okay, so there you go. Let's see, Paul. Q and Sway, do y'all think Sean McVay is overrated? No, I think McVay is good, man. I think he's not overrated. I think he's rated correctly. He's a very bright coach. McVay is awesome, man. He's a damn good coach. He took what was that guy's name, man? That guy couldn't even win out there before he got out there. What's his name? Used to be with the Titans. Oh man, Steve. Was it? No. Steve Fisher. Was it Steve Fisher? Something Fisher. Mike Fisher. Was it Mike Fisher? No, it wasn't Mike Fisher. It was Fisher something, brother. Fisher Price. I don't know. It don't matter. Whatever it was. You know what I'm talking about. He couldn't get that team to do nothing. McVay gets there, and he's been winning ever since. and it's because the guy knows football. He's one of those prodigies. So no, I don't think he's overrated. I think he's a hell of a coach, to be quite honest with you, man. He's a football savant, is what he is. So you got to give him credit. I think it's third year, third year. Look what he's done. That's right, a couple years now. Steve Fisher, I think the man. Jeff Fisher, there you go. Jeff Fisher, there you go. Thank you, Revolt got it. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes with these old coaches, I get, I got football brains. Sometimes that stuff fall on top of you. It just gets all muddled up every now and again. Okay, so, but I keep a look for my selections way whenever I come up. Okay, let's take a look. Oh, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm 8 spots later. All right, family, let's get back to the talkings. To the discussion of the things. Marty, what's happening to you, baby? Paul says, how much calling and shots do Dennis Allen have in his defensive choices? He has a lot. Sean Payton gives him a lot of autonomy. He's free to make whatever calls and moves he's making, and Sean Payton's really respectful and really, really likes Dennis Allen, respects what he does a lot. He doesn't look at him with the mad face like he was doing Buddy Ryan. Rex Ryan's brother. When he was down here, he wasn't doing it like he was doing with Steve Spagnuolo when he was down here. Dennis Allen, he don't play with like that. He lets Dennis Allen run that side of the defense, and he doesn't worry about it. He just does his thing on the offense.
Your team is now on the clock.
He gives them no problem at all. So, yes, what is going on. But here we go. I'm on the clock now. Yes, I am on the clock. So thanks a lot for not helping, brother. Thanks a lot, brother. So, I'm on the clock here. And, boy, the pickings are slim and to know.
Oh, that's what it is.
Got some time here, family. As you can see that we on our fantasy league draft here, looking at some stuff here. Quan Short's already on the team, bro. Oh man. I know. Hey, bro, you gotta do something, bro.
Hey man, I'm looking really good. There's some top-heavy teams who have a little powerful offense, but no defense. And so you can tell how people drafted, but it's going to be a real interesting year to see how everything falls in place. A lot of people going to get injured. You're going to have some people not going to show up like you think they are. And, it's not going to look as powerful. Your team is not going to be as powerful as they look. And then you're going to be looking for trades and things in that order. So getting ready for a real interesting season.
Yeah, on the fantasy league. And so, once again, I'd like to thank everybody participating in the Sports Coma First Annual Fantasy League, 20-team fantasy league. Boy, it's just, man, it'll be testing you to see how far you can and what kind of people you can pick up here. So it's interesting, man. It's unlike any draft I ever did. But let's keep it going with the fans' questions. Shannon, what's happening? He said the Dolphins might as well trade us Devontae Parker for Austin Carr. We'll take him. We'll take him. And let's keep it going here. Let's see. Jason says he needs some help. Let's Scoop say all receivers coming back to practice so far, huh? Yep, all of them trickling back in. We kind of thought that would be the case. They took a hell of a gamble, man. They took a hell of a gamble, but it actually worked out for them in the end. Tramal says, Big Q, please don't make a shirt to get down on the kicked off the practice squad. Lois, he can stay his ass on the practice squad and not hurt us when it come down to the big games. I'm going to leave him alone, bro. To be quite honest with you. I don't think, he just, the man need work. If anybody need practice, it's Dan Arnold. There's no doubt about it. He need a lot of practice. So I'm glad that he is on the practice squad where he belongs and where he need to be. So that's big to me. Anyway, please don't make a shirt, okay? And everybody saying Jeff Fisher. Pick Q. Jason said pick Q. When will Pat Swillen and Sam Mills and Steve?
Your team is now on the clock.
Paul says Pat Swillen should have. I don't know when Pat's in there. Sam Mills should be getting close to him. So I don't know exactly, when that should happen, but we'll have to see. when that comes down. And I'm up on the fantasy league next. Family, let's see who we can get here to kind of help out here. Oh, man, the pickings are slim. Really slim, huh, Sway?
Very.
Okay. There we go. All right, family. Yeah, like I said, we're doing the fantasy league right now, and I'm just finished picking now. So let's keep it moving here. Let's see. Garrett says Saints practice squad currently: Dan Arnold, Jordan Humphrey, Emmanuel Butler, Tack, Alizé Mack, John McGould. Broncos 5. He says 5 to go. Jerome says we got faster at linebacker, but what do you think about what Miami got for their left tackle and what Seahawks got for Clowney? Miami, I don't know too. Yeah, I don't know. Miami had got, they got picks and stuff, but Miami not looking to do nothing this year. They in rebuild mode right now, and that's the thing that I see with them. To be quite honest with you, but outside of that, to look at some of the things that I've seen.
Man, ain't nobody drafted Andrew Luck yet.
Go ahead and draft him there. But this is the thing, though, man. As far as with the Seahawks got for Clowney, they needed a pass rusher. They lost Frank Clark. They needed somebody to step up and do it. And getting him for what they got, it does help their defense because they needed that special pass rush talent. He signs $16 million, but will they pay him next year? That's the thing. Pay him. So Seattle, you got a proven pass rusher as long as he's healthy. Dolphins got their picks or whatnot. Houston had gotten better too with Tunsil going to Houston. Gives them a lineman that can protect Deshaun Watson and a wide receiver that can be a reserve for what's the other wide receiver they have that's not Hopkins? It's the other guy, Will Fuller, a guy that can back up Will Fuller in the slot. So it improves their offense with a wide receiver and offensive lineman where they were really hurting at. So that's big ups to them. Garrett says Saints will not sign Porter Gostin to the practice squad. Paul said, how are the Saints looking with the salary cap? Got to look that one up, Paul, to find out exactly what they're looking like on the cap. To be quite honest with you, have to look that one up. But let's see here. All right, family. I'm gonna look up some stuff, right now on that. See if I can find any information about the practice squad and all that kind of lovely stuff to see exactly where we are in terms of the practice squad. The depth chart. Where would I go? All right, let's see here. Try to see if I can get some information about the cap. Okay, I don't remember what I usually go. Man, using it.
Yeah, you doing the draft. That's all.
All right, so let's take a look at it here. Saints team salary according to overthecap.com currently is about just over $2 million, Paul. That's the current cap right now. Just researching to give a little information for Paul asking the question whether the Saints salary cap currently is just over $2 million, Paul. Just to give that information. Marvin Hudak said, what about our new linebacker? What do you think about him and Davis? What do you think? Well, like I said, we've been covering that in the live stream. We're now looking at about an hour and 40 minutes since we're doing the Sports Coma Fantasy League and some of the news from the practice squad and the addition of Kiko Alonso in the trade from Miami for sending Vince Vigil out there. I do actually like the trade. I think it's a severe upgrade because Vince Vigil was mostly a practice squad guy. Kiko Alonso is a guy that had extensive NFL experience. He's still 29. He had a few injuries, but he's been healthy lately. And he's put together a span of games. He's played over 40 games. So the guy's he'll be a pretty competent linebacker for you. But the question I have, to be honest with you, Marvin, is what we add Kiko Alonso is more than just a depth signing. It is what's the fact? What's going on here in the linebacker core with these linebackers? Two linebackers in particular. Rumors on them being hurt. Those two guys are Craig Robinson, Alex Anzalone. What is the truth about those guys that you would bring Kiko Alonso in here? You would trade Vince Vigil for Kiko Alonso. What is that saying? What is that saying about those two guys? How far are they away from getting back? So that's one of the things that I want to know when we're talking about dealing with that, man. You know, what's going on as far as that is concerned? That's my question. You know, and just give me just a second here. As I said, we're doing our Sports Coma fantasy draft here. And 20 Elite Goods is just ahead.
Elite Goods.
Your team is now on the clock.
All right, we look like we're on the clock here. And look, I need another tight end, so I think Clay a beast too. I like Clay. I'm gonna take my guy off. There you go. All right, we got him now. Sports Corner Fantasy League is going down, family. We're doing this 20-team fantasy league. It's today, and we're doing it live, family. Thank you, Gary, for the contribution. Great show as always. As Gary says, thank you, Gary. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you for your fantastic donation as we continue to keep moving forward in the show, family. Marvin says, I need a lot about Alonso that he couldn't cover tight ends, but he's his last 3 years. He's had 5 picks for a touchdown. I don't know. Well, I mean, I would say he's more of a balanced guy. He does have some deficiencies in his game, but I think it's more of a plus if you look at does he improve the overall linebacker room by his addition? I think he does. He gives you a really solid linebacker that can come and help you, Kiko Alonso. So I like him a lot. I'm gonna be honest with you. He reminds me of a certain version of Demario Davis. When Demario, you want guys that can play, that are ready to play. Now you knew at some point we're gonna lose AJ Klein in the season. It always happens. AJ Klein hadn't went through a full season. You have Alex Anzalone, who's hurt right now, who's done a pretty decent job the previous year, but prior to that he had injuries. You have Craig Robinson that gets injured in between there. So you can never have, if it came down to Kiko Alonso, and you still have Caden Ellis, who's just a 7th-round draft pick rookie. You know, you won't bring those guys around kind of slow. So it's interesting, man, but I do like the addition of this guy. I'm going to just be honest with you. I love the addition of Kiko Alonso. And like I said, Marvin, I don't know what it means when you bring him in and Craig Robinson and Alex Anzalone. Said, what are the injury concerns about those? Quincy says, will Alonso play in the middle or the outside? I like him on the outside. He could play either or, but I like him on the inside. I like him on the inside, to be honest with you. So that's what I think. And Kevin Reed says, draft Austin Coyle. Draft him. Daron says, 47 going next year to many injuries. We'll see. It's not official, bro. Paul said the Saints lack speed with the backup linebackers. Caden Ellis is one of the fastest linebackers you have. So I don't know about that, Paul. Quincy says that I've seen him in action. I think he's at about average couple skills for the linebacker. Kevin says, great show, Q. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Kevin, for joining us, brother, and appreciate everything that you guys do. Marvin said, I read an article that Alex had a
Your team is now on the clock.
And hold on, family, I am back on the clock. So here we go again, family. Like I said, we're doing the Sports Coma Fantasy League. And, man, I mean, this.
I'm so far down the roster, man. They ain't got a picture for the receiver. I'm about to pick.
I mean, dude, this is crazy how it is, man, to be quite honest with you. And it's like you got an idea who you want to get. You know, and it's kind of.
Once you get there, we go.
Yeah, it's crazy, man, how it goes. But
I love it, man.
Yeah, this is Fast and Furious, man. It's Fast and Furious.
I picked Charles Clay last year. He let me down big time, man.
It's Fast and Furious. Here we go. So, I mean, we back at it. But let me finish answering the question, family, about that red article that Alex had a bone fracture in the shoulder. That's why he's been gone. They said after 3 to 4 weeks, but it might not be worse than what we think. 3 to 4 weeks. And I think I heard about that article, Marvin. I didn't, I was waiting to see what the Saints were saying. That was an article from somewhere else. I don't know if it was Yard Barker or something like that. But I don't know. I'm still waiting to see an official article out of the Saints camp, out of the Saints building, breaking that down. That's what I want to know. Exactly what the heck is going on as far as that's concerned. So let's see about that and see how it goes. Now, it'd be interesting to see. Like I said, I want to know more. I want to see what Sean Payton said. Not just but for Alex Anzalone, but Craig Robinson as well. But like I said, getting Kiko Alonso in here via trade, giving up Vince Vigil to bring him here, opens up questions about the health of those linebackers. He said, didn't the Saints keep Jumper? They did keep Jumper. Paul, they put Colton Jumper on the IR. Colton Jumper's on IR. Josh Martin's on the IR. Cameron Thomas on the IR. Several Saint players on IR right now. On the IR. IR. The IR. It's an R. Okay. All right. Aura Kelly.
Right.
It's not R Kelly.
It's supposed to be R Kelly, but how we say it's Aura Kelly.
Aura Kelly.
R Kelly.
Boy, we something else down here, and we got our own speech and every damn thing. Renault says, I thought it was WWL that I heard Alex Anzalone had a broken bone in his chest, but haven't heard any more about it. That's what I'm saying.
Broken bone in his chest.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying about the trade. Like, you hear one thing about Alex Anzalone getting hurt, you hear another. And I'm like, where's the official? Like, you hear some person put it out there, and then you didn't have Sean Payton say a damn thing about it. You know what I'm saying? That might be some of that bad gumbo. He might be not sharing you number. He ain't giving you no gumbo. He ain't giving you no gumbo. So that's what I'm saying. If you look at it, what's the deal? If that's really the case, why haven't we heard from more reputable? I ain't saying they're not reputable, but the people that put it out there, then you don't hear nothing from it no more. Yeah, let's hear from the horse's mouth. Like, okay, he's supposed to miss this time, and you haven't seen him in preseason action for some time. We heard about Craig Robinson walking to the trainers, to him walking to the training area so he can get tended to in the game, but not hearing anything else is kind of mad. So I'm not going to rack my brain around it until right before the season when I know they're supposed to release the injury to know exactly what we're dealing with. But kind of inkling into what the problem is if we have issues with the linebacking core is looking at the fact that Kiko Alonso is here, so it could bear some interesting facts about it nonetheless. So we'll see. Jerome said, I missed the fantasy draft. I bet my team. Sup? Okay, Jerome. He said, yeah, Jerome said he missed it. They all picking for you, Jerome. Matter of fact, you on the clock right now. Jerome, you on the clock right now. And Team 504 is the Jerome team. Isn't that Jerome? That's your team? They about to pick for you right now. Mark said, what about Marshall? We need depth. Linebacker Marshall. I don't know if they go after Marshall. We talked about this yesterday, but Kiko Alonso will probably be the guy that they go after and keep. Marshall wasn't bad, though. What's going on?
Somebody picked Taysom Hill. I don't know who did. Which one of y'all picked Taysom Hill, bro?
Your team is now on the clock.
Well, the brother gave you an idea, say you need to go and get Taysom Hill. And you didn't listen to the man. Shame on you. Shame on you. You didn't listen to the man.
I don't know who got it.
Somebody got him.
I'm going to find out.
Somebody got him. Somebody got him. And I'm looking at now, I'm on that non-family. I'm looking at add some talent there.
Is he not even on here?
Taysom's on there. He's way down there, though. He got to be way. He on there because all of them, he's got to be on here. Because I see they got Garrett Grayson on here. You got to have Taysom Hill, man.
Taysom is T-A-Y-S-U-M, right?
T-A-Y-S-O-M?
S-O-M?
I think S-O-M. I don't think it's S-U-M. I don't see him. Somebody got him. Yeah, he's gone, dude.
His name doesn't even pop up, man.
He might not fall in the quarterback, huh? Might be. I don't know. You can search for him. If he ain't listening to the players,
I did. You not listening?
no, he might not be on there.
That's cold.
It could be, bro. He should be on there. Let's see. It says, Paul says Rob Kelly had the tattoos but couldn't tackle, still trash. Jerome says I didn't pick. Marv says we need another safety like Rashad Nunn from the Dolphins. What do you think, Q? Safety like Rashad Nunn. I'm not familiar with Rashad Nunn from the Dolphins. I don't know who that is, to be honest with you, Marvin. I'm going to have to see if I can look that up, but I don't know that guy. Rashad, that's the guy from Michigan? Because I remember they had a safety from Michigan that was pretty good. So we're going to look at it. I'm going to look it up. I'm not familiar with that player. I'm going to look that up. So we're going to look into it. But anyway, family, just to let the family know, the phone lines are open. We are open. The phone lines are open. And, of course, the number to call is right here, right above my finger here. As you can see, the number right there, 504-475-4482. I couldn't find it yesterday, but I could find it today. There's number right there at the top of the screen right there. It's 504-475-4482. And you feel free to call in, ask questions, concerns, or comments upon what do you guys think about what's happening with the Saints team. You know, as we continue to deliver information pertaining to the Saints and what's going on as we cover the news. Now, remember, the Saints are just over $2 million in salary cap money as well, family. So that's another great thing to know about. Is that they are Saints are also 2-1, should be 3-0 over. I mean, not over, but under the cap. I'm sorry, what I'm talking about. They have about $2 million left on the cap on their books, and the Saints are going to continue to try to see if they can add talent to try to assist in that regard. So we're going to pay attention to that and see how the Saints are moving forward. So I absolutely love it. I think it's tremendous. I like the acquisition of a guy named Kiko Alonso. I think it's stupendous. I think it's awesome. And it does provide depth to the linebacker room as well. So without further ado, let's play a little interview from one of the linebackers who made the team, one of my favorite young up-and-coming linebackers that's on the team, Caden Ellis, as he talks about being in the New Orleans Saints here.
Your team is now on the clock.
How do you feel like coming out of it?
I feel like I put on tape that I love football and like to fly around, and hope that's what people can see when they watch it. And it was just fun being here, and I hope it continues.
How nerve-wracking is it as a player just kind of waiting until 3 o'clock tomorrow or whenever your phone rings, I guess?
It should be pretty nerve-wracking, but I'm not too nervous. I know God's got a plan. I did everything I can. Now it's just up to let him decide what he wants to do with it, you know.
Feel a sense of calm about it, I guess, right now?
Definitely, you know. He talks about the peace that transcends all understanding, you know, when you give things to him, and giving it to him, and I'm good. You know, whatever happens, I know he's got a plan, and whatever happens, I'm working my hardest, so it's easy.
Last several weeks, how much do you feel like your football knowledge has grown and things that you picked up from other players, coaches, etc.?
So much, you know, and it's still got so much more to grow. These guys at this level are so smart. I think that may be the biggest jump, is just how smart, how quick people react to things at this level. So getting to be around these linebackers and all the positions, all the vets, the coaches, everybody here, it's been such a blessing. And it's like you hit college for the first time again, you know what I mean? Not football-wise, but school-wise, just learning from your professors. That's almost what it's like here, just how much wisdom and knowledge they have about this subject of football is incredible.
Yeah, family, we back at it. Back at it, family, and we are looking at, that was Caden Ellis giving his thoughts on a multitude of different things, but really interested, man, nonetheless, to understand exactly, where the Saints are going with this linebacker situation. To hear least they kept him here, you know, and he's a guy that we looking at that can contribute in the future moving forward. So really happy about the addition of having Caden Ellis here. He's a very excellent, bright young player to have in the Saints uniform, bro, to be honest with y'all. I absolutely love his addition here, man. Really do love it. I think the Saints did a good job in finding this guy, and is really talented. So let's get into another interview, man. Phone lines open, family. Feel free to call. The number is in the top of the screen, right above Swade's head, 504-475-4482. You can feel free to call in, and you can ask me questions, or you can ask Swade questions, or what have you. We got a number of things that we got to do. I got to put some more juice in my cup. But we have a few things, man, to talk about dealing with the Black and Gold Nation, man. But the phone lines are open. Rasheed Jones. Okay, Rasheed Jones. Yeah, say, oh, yeah, that dude's good, man. That dude's good. I remember that dude. I remember Rashad. Yeah, but that's the Clemson dude, or was he a Michigan or Clemson dude? I know he was from up north somewhere, but I remember him playing. That dude's a stud, man. But yeah, I wouldn't have been mad if they were a guy, and we could definitely use a guy behind that in the back anyway. Paul said they were called the Big Blue Wrecking Crew. But yeah, family, that's pretty good, man. Rashad Jones. Yeah, I wouldn't be mad if we did end up getting a player with his magnitude, man. But we'll see how that works moving forward. See what other moves that this team has to add to it. You know, we have a lot of stuff that we got to do, man, going forward to kind of address some of these depths. But here's Cameron Tom, man, talking about some of the stuff that he went through during the camp. Here's Cameron Tom.
Been through this process before. You've been successful through this process, but I guess thinking about it, how difficult is it to go through this time of the year for an NFL player?
Yeah, like I said, it's difficult. It's never easy, especially for most of the roster probably on the bubble. So just you put it all out there in training camp, and just let the chips fall where they may.
Is it easy to relax with that thought in mind?
Yeah, when you feel like you gave it your all. Yeah, I think so. I think you can live with it. If you look back on the past 5 weeks, and you felt like you put it on the line, then yeah, I think that settles you down a little bit.
Yeah. Now, how much confidence does it give you having gone through it previously and made the team, and having that confidence of knowing, okay, I've been on this 53-man, and I feel pretty good about my chances now.
Yeah, it may provide a little confidence, but just again, like every year, you have to prove yourself. Especially for a guy like me, you just got to go out there and prove yourself. Training camp, OTAs, minicamp. So, it could provide a little confidence, but I think at the same time, I still have to go prove myself.
Now, I guess does that help to, be on edge, to not have that, relaxed feeling?
Yeah, I think so. Because you're never going to get complacent. If you're always, like you said, like living on the edge, like you always feel like you need to get better. And I think that in the end, allows you to put your best foot forward.
Cam, could you tell me just from a player standpoint, like what do you like to do to maybe like disengage mentally, like this weekend? Do you go to a movie? How do you not think about football, I guess?
Yeah, I probably, I don't think I'll do anything like that. I'm probably gonna watch my brother tonight. He plays at Wake Forest. They play tonight. And tomorrow I probably just sit on the couch and just be by my phone. And just sit there until about 3 o'clock.
I imagine it's difficult because you made new friends, and you did it last year, and I guess, and you guys you compete against each other during training camp. So I guess it's difficult in that aspect.
Yeah, because you definitely do build a bond with some of these guys for the whole off season, and then just to see them cut, it's tough. You're just hoping that they get another chance. If it's not here, then somewhere else.
Do you keep in touch with, for instance, last year? Do you keep in touch with some of these guys?
I wouldn't say I keep in touch, but I definitely keep up. I think would be a good way to put it. I know what some of the guys are playing at, so in that way, yeah, I think so.
Thanks.
We back in the building, family. That was an interview there from Cameron Tom. Saints here. And
Your team is now on the clock.
stuff going on here. Fantasy draft, the trade, everything and anything. So, yeah, it's going down in a major way here with the Saints. So, great things happening in the Black and Gold Nation. Of course, we know about the Saints, Kiko Alonso, and all that. Also, it's news that Dez Bryant, this is reported by the Cowboys and Saints Wire, is saying that Dez Bryant is eyeing a mid-October return. So that's a little information there. Also, Jaguars claim rookie Saints wide running back Devine Zigbo off for waivers. He didn't last like we knew he wouldn't. And of course, that was a series of steps right there. A few things being reported, and then also the fact that the Saints have added several players to the practice squad, including both wide receivers LaJordan Humphreys, Emmanuel Butler, Dan Arnold, and among others have been added to the Saints practice squad as it's just continue to come on. So a series of things going on in the sports Coma world with the draft as well as everything, and the family members are chiming in as well. So Gary says, per Herbie Tope, last 5 practice squads, R. Kelly, Derek Kelly, Terrell Williams, T.J. Green, Mitchell Lowen, Taquan Mizell have been added there. Gary, thank you, Gary, for giving us that information. Paul said, OQ, that's Ron Swoboda asking the questions. I love and Jim Morris Sr. went at it. Yeah, I remember that. That was back in the day. Yeah, Paul got good memory, man. Ron Swoboda, that's old school. Ron Swoboda and Buddy D. So it's a lot of old school stuff. No, Paul. Paul knew all the old school ones, bro. But yeah, family, that's what's going on so forth in the Sports Coma Fantasy League. We'd like to thank all the participants of that. And also I want the family to know about the fact that we are
Number one?
We are number one. We're the number one independent Saints podcast in the land, live streaming as well. And we like to give credit where it's credit due. So a lot of the family members, man, have done a terrific job, and we appreciate the family for joining us in the Sports Coma Fantasy League today, as we were able to turn it into a live show as well to cover some of the latest news coming out from
your team is now on the clock.
So they've added a number of players to the practice squad. Thank you, Paul, for adding that as well. Then side news to talk about, like I said before, what Devine Zigbo being claimed off of waivers by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Dez Bryant's eyeing an NFL return in October. And, then safety, that just a little side information that just happened. Remember that rotten-ass safety that hit Dwayne Washington in the helmet and gave him a concussion? They fined that guy. His name is Brandon Bryan. Was fined twice for unnecessary. They should have threw him out of the game. They should have threw that guy out of the damn game. After that, he had 2 helmet-to-helmet hits in that game, and one of them knocked Dwayne Washington out of the game. He should have been thrown out of the game, but the second one he was taken out because he concussed himself. What a moron. He concussed himself. New York safety Brandon Bryan was fined twice for unnecessary roughness against the Saints. According to Times Picayune, he was fined 28 G's the first time and 10 G's the next time for those 2 hits, which was a helmet-to-helmet on Saints running back Dwayne Washington. And then 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter, that idiot then Washington ran up the middle for a 7-yard game. Near the end of the Washington's run, Bryan came in and helped bring him down, and he led with his helmet. What an idiot. Washington ran off the field after the play, was soon after helped by Saints athletic trainers and didn't return. And according to the game broadcast, Washington was treated for a concussion. Of course he was. The dude hit him in his helmet. And then another safety player was fined as well. Linebacker Darnell Sinke, who has since been released by the team, was fined 21 G's for a hit on a quarterback. Jets quarterback Davis late in the fourth quarter. Both Bryan and Sankey can appeal the fines. The league mandated minimum for the first offense, impermissible use of the helmet, is $28,000. The minimum fine for the offense of roughing the passer is 21 G's. So thanks to Demario, and then other news, Demario Davis wasn't fined for roughing the passer penalty. Kayvon Webster, who has since been waived, was not fined for unnecessary roughness penalty as well. So, that's some side information to give to you about that stupid cornerback that we had to face. He should have been thrown out of the game, but the second time around, he was taken out of the game anyway because he concussed himself. So that, along with Dolphins trading Kiko Alonso to the Saints for Vince Vigil, that's happened today as well. And then, of course, Carl Granderson rookie reinstatement is something. Carl Granderson reinstated after release from jail and see the next steps for the roster spot. That's also being reported by Noel as well. Another good a story by Herbie Tope, he's covering a few of these stories. Granderson was released from jail August 26th, was reinstated to the exempt commissioner permission designation. He will not count against the Saints active roster. Now, the moves allowed the Saints to have a 2-week window to decide on what to do with Carl Granderson, who was originally set to serve a 6-month jail sentence for alleged sexual assault. The sentence prompted the Saints to place Granderson on reserve, did not report list before the start of training camp. So, of course, Granderson, the persecutors in Albany County, Wyoming, charged Granderson in February with unwanted sexual contact with 2 women while they slept at his apartment in 2018, which, why the hell you up in there? He pleaded no contest July the 10th to touching the buttocks of one of the women and the buttocks of the other, each over their clothing. Okay, so he got jail time for grabbing a woman's butt while she had her clothes on over the clothing. And Wyoming State Court records obtained by the Times-Picayune defendants pleaded no contest. The defendants who played no contest in effect accept the conviction, but don't admit to guilt. This is something we talked about when we did the Granderson show. In return for this misdemeanor plea, Granderson received a recommendation for supervised probation, but District Judge Torrey Cricken shot down the plea deal and gave Granderson a 6-month jail sentence, imprisoning him at the end of the July 11th hearing. Right after that, they put him in handcuffs, handcuffed, there we go. And then put him in, took him back to the back of the jail. You going to jail. And then according to the documents, Granderson's attorney, Megan Overman Goetz, later asked another judge, John Perry, to reconsider the punishment, which she called the near maximum sentence allowed by law. You know, and in the particulars is Granderson touching the woman while they slept at his apartment, and grabbing their buttocks over clothing. That was enough to get him thrown in jail. But regardless, but that's the case. They were saying the judge like that was the near maximum allowed to give him a 6 months pension. So what Goetz contended that Granderson had agreed to a plea, a no contest, because persecutors led him to believe that both of the victims in the case understood and approved the terms of the plea agreement, including the probation stint. But Goetz wrote in the court filings, Cricken rejected the plea agreement because the victims changed their minds about the deal and withdrew their approval of it without Granderson ever being advised of that happening.
Your team is now on the clock.
That's new information as well. Then Goetz argued Granderson did not have the information necessary for him, bad advice for the attorney. They should have known that. The plea knowingly and voluntarily, which is a constitutional standard, therefore she had been allowed to withdraw the plea and proceed toward the trial. Now, Granderson desires simply to move forward his life and prove to be a valuable contributor member of society while simultaneously capitalizing on a critical moment with his life and career, whereby he might be able to be employed in a career where he's worked so hard to achieve. Goetz wrote in a 16-page document aiming to persuade Perry to modify the punishment. Now, ultimately, August the 23rd, Perry seemingly compromised. He denied the request to let Granderson withdraw his plea, preserving the misdemeanor conviction on his record. Perry, however, ruled that Granderson deserved a new sentence, citing Cricken's decision to contact a mental health counselor the football player had retained in the case. The communication has a cast shadow over sentencing procedure and the appearance of impropriety. So something was wrong with that. Though the contact was in no way damaging to Granderson, that the fact simply does not matter. Perry added communications of the nature improper regardless, and even more so when they instituted by a sitting judge. So it didn't look right. Ultimately, they gave him an opportunity to be freed, and the Saints, meanwhile, are entertaining the situation with Granderson coming back. But according to multiple sources, the Saints doing their due diligence on background information by gathering police reports generated during the case and talking to Granderson's defense team. He's not subject to the NFL personal conduct policy because the alleged incidents occurred before he entered the league. And then, of course, Granderson originally joined the team as an undrafted guy at Wyoming. He totaled 16.5 sacks in 4 seasons, and Granderson flashed potential as a pass rusher in the Saints off-season workout. A lot of sensitive Saints fans were talking about Granderson, doesn't matter, and all this kind of stuff, but he was playing with the first team defense when Cam and Davenport weren't there. So he was lining up playing with the ones the entire time and showing out. So Sean Payton had big eyes on this guy despite all the stuff that was circulating around him. Now the Saints currently have Jordan Davenport, Trey Henderson, and Wes Horton at defensive end. We know that Wes Horton going to get cut if they just choose to bring Granderson back. And then they have a 2-week window to decide whether the Saints now get a closer look at the player who can make an impact on the team. So there you go, family. That's a mouthful coming right on at you about that whole situation dealing with that. So we gonna have to keep it moving, man, and find out what Carl Granderson look moving forward. So that's what it is.
And touch the girl butt in his own home. I mean, everybody, don't deserve to be touched. Don't get me wrong.
You gotta respect the women, brother.
You gotta respect the women.
You gotta respect them. And that was a dumb decision by Granderson, and it cost him. Paul said, what is the NFL going to do about all the hits when players are out of bounds? Saints got a lot of hits on this team. Yeah, this is ridiculous. And sometimes the flags need to come out regarding that. They really do. They got to come out with the flags, Paul. And Paul said Sway looked like he needs some good gumbo. But anyway, family, the phone lines are open. Feel free to call the Sports Coma. The numbers above Sway's head. As we're doing our Sports Coma Fantasy League. That's right, we're doing the Fantasy League as it stands, family. And I don't know what the heck is going on right now as I'm about to go on the clock in a minute to draft as what round are we in here, Sway?
Round 24, man.
We're in round 24.
24,
Okay. All right.
Let me see if you did it, because I don't want to tell you. You can go ahead and knock my head off.
So,
Your team is now on the clock.
Round 24 of the Sports Coma draft. We are over 2 hours into the draft as we seem to be. It's pretty good, man. Pretty good drafting going on by a lot of people. Very interesting, man, to be honest with you, to see all of the black and gold family. This is a very deep draft, man. Over 2 hours, very, very long draft, man.
You have to be in football.
Yeah, this is serious, man. This is serious. This is on some marathon type stuff going on here. There you go. The Marvel of Marathon. There you go. It's going on, brother. So it's a lot going on here, man. And I got the guy a lot of fans talking about Rashad Jones. The family just brought him up. I remember that dude. That dude was a player in the league. So
that Taysom Hill is not in this.
I thought he was in the fantasy league.
There's no sense for him not to be in here.
I thought he was in the fantasy league. I thought that was the bottom line was that he was in the fantasy league. That's what I thought. Quincy says, Paul, I feel like you had the turn up the cheek when there's a dirty player on the Saints player. So we'll see exactly how that all went. So he said, Paul, I feel they intend to turn the cheek when it's a dirty player on the Saints player. They don't like, and that's the thing with the NFL, and I've gotten into that before when I talk about the foolishness that goes on with the NFL. Is the fact that they don't do a good job at all in making those calls on the sideline. You can't allow that kind of stuff to occur, guys, because most of the guys get hurt that way, taking shots as the guy's going line. The guy should be lending or leading to hit you as he's going out of bounds. Pull up. If the guy's going out of bounds, you see he's going out of bounds, you don't have the right to hit him leading out of bounds. So the NFL has got to make an example of some of these people. They got to. If they don't, then you're gonna have injuries where guys are going out of bounds, and it shouldn't be. That shouldn't be the case. Shouldn't even be the case at all. So we'll determine that as we move forward. Exactly. It's just we'll see. The NFL is not perfect. It's not a perfect structure, but we tend to kind of learn that moving forward. And then as we debate and call it out for what it is. But if they can just learn to be a little bit more consistent than what the hell they are, man. That could be a great thing, period, for the whole organization, for them, for all the teams to respect them. Like the fans don't really have respect for official when he's making terrible calls that even a child can make. It's just really stupid in many times. So I don't know, man. It's absolutely insane. So the Sports Coma Fantasy League is ongoing. Look like we just missed a call, man. Please call back if I missed your call. I just missed your call there. Okay, we got a caller calling in here. So here we go here. Answering the call. Who that, baby? You're talking to Big Q and Suede on the Sports Coma. Who am I talking to?
This Revolt Control, man.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, this Revolt Control Radio, man.
Can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hold on just a second, family.
Your team is now on the clock.
Hold on. Can you? Okay, we back. All right, they're saying that you can't. They couldn't hear. All right, now. They said Paul said I think Lutz can make a 64-yard field goal and break the record. Yeah, he got a leg too. We can't hear you anymore. Okay, I think I'm back. I'm looking at the mic. We back and the audio gone, no sound. Chime in, Crash. Let me know if you can hear you. It's showing that I do have the sound. Chime in, see if you can hear me again. Shannon said the record is 64. We have to make a 65-yarder to kick the play. So y'all call in and let me know how y'all feel, or hit the chat up for any questions, concerns, or comments dealing with the New Orleans Saints and the black and gold. A lot to talk about today that we covered on this 2-hour live stream thus far, and it's dealing with the fact that the Saints, we have the Sports Coma Fantasy League going on, it's ongoing, we have a few more rounds left in that, and and we'll continue to move forward, so we got a caller coming in. What's happening, fam? You're talking to the Big Q and Black Suede on the Sports Coma. Who am I talking to?
This Revolt Control Radio, man. Hello? Going out again. Hello?
Your team is now on the clock.
All right, family. I'm sorry about that. No sound. But Revolt, we're gonna get you in there, baby. We're gonna get your call back there, Revolt. We'll get you on there as we move forward to Fantasy League, family. Chime in, family. Hit the button up. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Let me know if y'all can hear me, family members. I can see us. Our mic is live on here. Let me know if you can hear me here. All right, Renault says he's back. Thank you, Renault. How about you, Robert? Can you hear me? Revolt, I heard you, baby, when you called. Hit us back. The number's above Swade's head, so if y'all guys want to take a listen there. If you got any concerns, comments that you want to voice on the Sports Coma, feel free to hit us up, as the Sports Coma Fantasy League is in full effect, man. So, yes, family. If you guys chime in, let me know. Okay, here we go. What's happening? You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. And if you got any questions, concern for me or Swade, what's happening? Is Revolve Control? What's happening, baby?
That's me, man. What's going on?
What's happening, baby? How you feeling? What's good with you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm surprised my boy Swade let Taysom Hill get by him like that, man. I thought Taysom was gonna be his first pick overall, man. What's going on?
You don't want him, bro. You don't want him, bro. You don't want him.
Oh, man.
What's good with it, homie? How you doing, bro?
Oh, man, I'm just looking at this roster, man. I don't know, man. I don't know.
All right,
the receiver core, man, this the same guys from last year, man, that couldn't beat man-to-man coverage.
Yeah. That's what I said. It's kind of suspect, man. That receiver don't look like it last.
So let me ask you, Revolt. So you don't approve of Austin Carr taking it, huh?
Man, Austin Carr is the last one. Man, look, he's the one I won't go in the most. Austin Carr. I think Drew Brees did some politicking for him, though, man. That's what I think.
What? It's strange, man, because when you look at it, man, I've been saying about Austin Carr for a while at Revolt, and that's the thing, man, that he's the more consistent of the rest of them. You had Emmanuel Butler dropping passes. He was hurt. You had Sammy Cobb dropping passes. He dealt with a little injury. Then you had, well, I can't say that about LaJordan. LaJordan was there, and he never missed no time. He just didn't. He had a few flash plays that kind of showed out. When I thought they should have went through to him a little bit more than they did in his preseason games. You would have seen a little bit more from LaJordan. But Austin Carr, old slow and steady Austin Carr. Being that he's not big, he's not fast, but he do everything right. And I think that's hard to ignore when you're dealing with Sean Payton, you know?
Yeah, I agree, man. But my thing with Austin Carr, well, I was noticing him last year, and when like I said, when this zone coverage, he's pretty decent. You know, he can find open spots. You know, he gonna catch the ball, but that man-to-man, he coming down toward the end of the season, teams started catching on to what we was doing, and they was making them guys play man on. You know, beat man-to-man coverage, especially Dallas. I think that's how Dallas got us, man, because Traquan and Austin was struggling in that man-to-man coverage. So I think that's going to be the same MO this year. They're gonna try to see early if them boys had learned from last year and they could beat man-to-man coverage this year. And I think they're going to test us early to see
Your
what them
team
boys
is
gonna
now
do.
on the clock.
You got a point there, Revolt, bro. I think a lot of the stuff that the Saints are doing right now, man, especially offense. You know what? But we got to give credit with credit due with Sean Payton, though. That's the fantastic thing about him is that he has the ability, despite the fact that he's been running the same offense, he might have deviated a bit as time went forward, but he's been the coach of the Saints for over 10 years now. And you got a copycat NFL, and they still haven't been figured out how to stop what he's doing. And I think that's one of the things that when you look at the NFL, one of the things they're good at doing is finding a way to stop you. But really, there's no stopping Sean Payton's offense unless they stop themselves. We just dropping the balls and critical errors and doing stuff that we stop ourselves with. I think that's the main thing that help us. So, I mean, when it comes down to it, man, I just think we should be able to duplicate 13-3 season like we did last year, and it depends on these first 4 games. We got 4 really heavy hitters that we got to take care of business against.
Right. And I need them first 2, man. I got $1,000 on them first 2 games, man. $500 a piece. I got to get them first 2.
Well, you playing with big blue chips, bro.
Yeah, and that ain't all my bets, man. I'm out here. I live in Atlanta, man. I'm out here with these stocks. I got $500 on the 2 Falcons game. I ain't even talking about them.
Oh, man. Yeah. Well, I tell you, he doing it big, bro. But
hey, man, I put my money where my mouth is, man. I'm out here with these Falcons fans. I'll be talking all this noise, man. I go and put the money down, too.
Dude, bro, hey, it's good though. We back in the black and gold. We gotta shut them down, bro. We gotta shut. We will shut them down. We'll shut. Like I said before, Atlanta's no competition for us. The Tampa Bay.
Your team is now on the clock.
Competition for us. None of these teams in the NFC South in competition for us. We're a Super Bowl team. We're looking at a couple of teams that'll be ahead of us. The Rams are sitting up there. We can knock them off with this second preseason game here, and we just gotta take care of business like I know the black and gold can do. And we pissed off. That's another thing that revolt. That we pissed off, bro, and that's why we're gonna take it to the next level. After what happened in Minnesota, what happened with the St. Louis game, the Rams game, all this foolishness here, bro. That got a pissed off squad ready to take care of business, bro.
No doubt, man. Well, I'm gonna let y'all run, man. Appreciate y'all taking my call, man.
Hey, bro, thank you, man. Appreciate you for calling the Sports Coma family, and stay in touch, bro. And
I will.
Revolt, you in the fantasy league, bro?
No, I didn't make the fantasy league, man. I've never played fantasy before, man. I'm gonna check y'all out, man. I'm gonna try to learn before I just dive on in there.
Now, and I revolt in the reality game, man. He got $1,000 on 2 games, right? He ain't playing fantasy football. He playing reality football right now.
Right.
But thank you, bro. Appreciate the call,
all right,
family.
Man. Y'all be cool, man. All right, man. Who that, babe?
Peace.
All right.
That's Revolt, man. Appreciate the call, Revolt in the building, man. Revolt, man. That's what I'm talking about, man. Revolt chiming in, man. Thank you, Bev, calling in. All the family, man. Renault says is no sound. You still having no sound issues, Revolt? Can you hear me? I mean, not Renault. Renault. I'm sorry. Thank you for calling that, Revolt, man. I hope I know it's gonna work out, and I hope, baby. And I hope it will, baby. It will work out for you. The Saints, baby. The Saints is gonna make it work for you, baby. We're gonna do it all right, baby. We're gonna win the next 4 games, baby. We're gonna be 4-0, baby. Then we're gonna go against Tampa Bay, baby. You're gonna win 1,000. You're gonna win your money. You're gonna double up. You're gonna triple up, and it's going down, baby. Who that to you, baby? Who that? Because that's my Saints pastor voice. That's my Saints pastor. That's my Saints pastor voice. But anyway, family, I like to thank everybody, man. Some of the family members saying they can't hear. Renault saying Renault said he can hear me now. Paul says Q will tell again, stay healthy to make the big difference this year. Right now, Paul, the man is healthy. He'll be fine moving forward. Now, going into the season, that's a different thing. But the Saints do have good depth. I know what my boy Revolt just was talking about. He's kind of concerned about it. But, it's the thing. that's the thing though. When we looking at the fact that we dealing with Dez Bryant possibly coming in, is that a factor? Remember, he did say the first team he was going to talk to would be the Saints. He said late October. Late October means he comes in and gets ready for a playoff race. I mean, that's what it is to him. I mean, he's not. Why not come in right now? Because he's not 100% totally healthy, despite reports saying that he is. No, he'll be ready to go in middle October. He didn't say at the start, but in the middle of October, because that gets you set up, get you ready for that playoff run, and that's when you're really going to need him. That's when you're going to need a guy like Dez Bryant. But could you imagine Dez Bryant running around with Jared Cook and Elvin Kamara, and the Saints are still not done. The Saints are still not done in finding things that they need to do to get this team together. And that's the interesting aspect of what the Black and Gold. So I don't want all my family members out there to think for a second that we ain't going to get this thing right. Remember, the linebacker we just traded for, Kiko Alonso, provides an upgrade in the linebacker room. Is he better than the guy that you shipped out? The answer is hell yeah, he better than him. He has the statistics. Now, you like Vance Bidger because he was a good special teams guy, but that's the same as Chris Banjo. Not getting rid of Chris Banjo because he was a special teams guy. We got rid of Chris Banjo because Chris Banjo couldn't play a safety position in the defense. We know he's an incredible special teams ace, but we need a guy that can do both. It's duality here. You have to be able to play your position in the defense and practice special teams as well. So we know
your team is now on the clock
during the period of the season, getting into the regular season, all this kind of stuff, and watching the teams progress, watching the offense, watching the defense, watching the different position groups. You start to see things line up in a certain order. And when it comes down to the Saints defense, and especially on the back end of the defense, Banjo, they didn't need his instrument, and his strings popped on his guitar, on his banjo, and they had to get him up out of here. So Saquon Hampton is a good addition. JT Gray, a lot of people not giving JT Gray no respect. And I guess I got to come up with a no respect team. And two members on the no respect team in the New Orleans Saints is number one, Austin Call. He gets no respect like Rodney Dangerfield. Paul, I love that one.
Respect it all.
And then you have the second guy that gets no respect on the respect team for the Saints is JT Gray. And JT Gray can play. And I ain't mean around with that. So you got Austin Call and JT Gray, two of the Saints get no respect.
Your team is now on the clock.
They will produce for you, and you will like them. And I guarantee you, if there was an NFC Championship game where the Saints going to be in this year, and you have to throw the ball to Austin Call, I guarantee you won't drop the ball like Dan Arnold did. I promise you that much. But a lot of stuff is going on. Good. And Crass said, good call right there. Yeah, that was a good call. I appreciate Revolt Control calling in. And we got to support our Black and Gold family members. When they out there in enemy territory like Atlanta or out there in Los Angeles with the enemies and all that, we got to give them extra support, family. We got to give them extra support and extra cheer because they surrounded by the enemy, man. And the enemy talking message and talking crazy. I don't know if I was an Atlanta fan, I would open my mouth up after blowing that lead there to get you there in the Super Bowl deal. So, I mean, it's just, you know, come on, man. You know, it's just insane.
Thou shalt not chill for a dirty bird.
Yeah, it's just
filthy.
I tell you, man. But anyway, we have the phone lines wide open. Thank you, Revolt. That was a great call for him calling in. But more family members, feel free to call in. The number is above Swade's head, 504-475-4482. You see Swade's pointing to it. It's right above his head right there. 504-475-4482. As you can see, Swade is pointing to it in the back there, right above his head. So feel free to chime in, call, and we'll get you online here, baby. And you can talk to me or Swade or have questions or what have you for the family members, man, to answer or ask or what have you. So a lot of information. Let's do a quick recap, family, over the latest information that's out there. Of course, the Saints traded with the Miami Dolphins. They traded player for player. They acquired linebacker Kiko Alonso in exchange for Vince Bidger. That was reported today by the NFL Network's Ian Rappaport as the Saints came in. They picked up Alonso, 29, who spent the last 3 years with the Miami Dolphins. He collected $355. Listen to what he did in just 3 years of playing for the Miami Dolphins. And then understand what I'm talking about, that you got a major upgrade from this player. Listen to his numbers over the last 3 seasons, family. The man had 355 tackles, 6 forced fumbles, 11 pass deflections, 5 interceptions, and 1 sack. That's some special teams guys' numbers in 10 years if they're lucky. This guy had those kind of numbers. He had 355 tackles in 3 years. What were you doing? What the hell was he doing? 355 tackles in 1 year. I mean, in 3 years. That's absolutely insane. That level of production. But that's what you're getting. He's 29 years old. He's healthy. And he's played in over 40 games, like 40-something odd games straight. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane, that level of production. Severe upgrade over Vince Bagel. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. I had to say, I go, yeah, baby, I had to go like this. And then I go, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Tell him no doubt about it, G. No doubt about it. No doubt about it, CG got. Now listen, family, look, this is, come on around here, son. This is my oldest son here, and he's gonna show you this is some of the gear that we have here.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead, do that.
We let him come through. I want to show y'all something. This is the Sports Coma shirts and stuff that we have for the children. We got sizes for the children as well, so you can see. Come move a little. Come back in the picture, that G. There you go. There you go. And this is some of the stuff that we have for our family members as well. The Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, established in 2015 shirt, the #1 independent podcast in the land. And we have that color, this shirt in all kind of colors, white, black, green, blue, all kind of stuff. And this is some of the stuff that we have there from the Sports Coma, Big Q and the guys. So, you know, that's one of the things that we do here for the children as well, because we got to make sure that the family, thank you, G. That's one of the things that we have to understand, man, moving forward into the future, is that we have to make sure that our children, you know, the next generation of who dots that's coming up, the who dots, that's French. You know, they got to Mexican, the who dots. Oh, I'm up next. Okay, so
last pick.
Okay, and so that's one of the things I want everybody to understand, that, man, is that we got to watch out for that. For you can feel free to go to the pro shop. That we'll make sure they put a link in the description, family, so that y'all guys will know that the pro shop. Matter of fact, when you can go to our YouTube page and go to the section up at Rana Banner. There's a merch
Your team is now on the clock.
Hit that merch link; it'll take you right to the shop. We have a new shirt that's called the Black and Gold Royalty. Got a crown on the front of it. That's coming out. That should be available later on today for tomorrow. And remember, for Labor Day, for the Sports Coma Pro Shop, there's 20% off sale on Labor Day on whatever you buy. Gotta order some gear. All the family doing some great things as well. So we got all that gear. For Labor Day, we're giving the family a 20% discount. On the code is Labor Day 20. When you go to the Pro Shop and you order gear, coffee cups, bedspreads, pillows, key chains, cases for your smartphone. I mean, there are several dozens items, not just t-shirts and stuff, that's available on our pro shop, so you can represent.
Thanks for attending the NFL Draft. Best of luck this season.
Moving forward, so a lot of great things is going on. So
the draft has now ended, people.
Okay.
All teams have been picked. Now go into your draft and see what you have. I'm about to get that ass bust.
Okay, Sway's reporting that the draft is over with. The first annual Sports Coma draft is officially complete.
Not giraffe, like the animal.
No,
like
I said draft. Like draft beer.
Yeah.
Draft beer. Yeah. Like draft beer. Okay. So the draft is officially over with. And we are good as far as that concerned. So like I said before, I'd like to thank all of the great Sports Coma family members that played the fantasy draft that were able to come in and contribute. 20-team draft is pretty hard, and it's going to be competitive all season long, family. So, man, just thank y'all guys for doing that. Also, other news I want to go over as well, as we got another caller calling in. Let's see if we can talk to him. We got a caller calling in. Let's talk to him with the family. What's going on, fam? You're rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. Me and Swade in the building. Who am I talking to?
Yeah, you talking to DJ. What's going on?
Oh, what's going on, family? How you doing, baby? What's happening, DJ? How you doing, fam?
I'm doing pretty good. What's going on, sir?
Nothing. This fantasy draft. You in the fantasy draft?
Nah, I'm trying to get into the basketball. I mean, I know what the Suns gonna probably do with the season.
What you got, DJ?
I want to tell to the same fans that's in New Orleans and all around the world. I want want to give an also shout out to all the Pelican fans that's all around the world.
Yes.
And I got a few questions.
What's going on,
How
DJ?
do you feel about the Jordan Humphrey not making a roster spot?
Okay. You one more time. What's that question again, DJ?
Okay.
What's that question again, DJ? I ain't hear you, bro. You broke up on me.
I say, how do you feel about the Jordan Humphrey not making a roster spot?
Oh, LaJordan Humphrey. I mean, it's kind of it upsets me, to be honest with you, DJ. I'm kind of upset by that, bro. And I'm gonna tell you why, bro. Because we followed LaJordan Humphrey all the way from his trip when he was first signed as an undrafted free agent. He came with a lot of hype here because of his production out of the University of Texas. So when we got him here, I looked at his size. He wasn't very fast, but I watched the footage and the highlights and stuff like that on LaJordan Humphrey. Did a lot of research on him. And one of the things I liked about LaJordan, that he's tough. You know, he's a guy that gets yards after the catch, and that's difficult in defining some of these big wide receivers. He refuses to go down. Even when you watch the game when he caught the touchdown against Minnesota, he shook one dude out, and then another guy was trying to make a tackle, and he stiff-armed the hell out of him and walked into the end zone standing up. And then the other plays that he made was, you could see he could turn, he's torquing, turning, twisting, and trying to get himself out of the way, you know, so that he can get extra yards. I love that part about LaJordan Humphrey's game. But I was upset by the fact that the team, you know, when all this happened, you could have kept LaJordan Humphrey and brought him on. He did what he was supposed to do to make the team. I mean, they didn't throw the ball to him a lot, but when they went to LaJordan Humphrey, he made plays. So I was upset about the LaJordan Humphreys thing. I was kind of bewildered by the Emmanuel Butler thing. And I was like, well, why would you? And then the thing that really threw me off was the Devine Zigbo thing. So I'm like, the Devine Zigbo did everything. He had one fumble, and then it was just absolutely insane. It's like, why would we go through all of this stuff and watch these guys for all this time, and then they do it, and then you just still release them? That's the upsetting part about me. So I don't like the LaJordan Humphreys being released, but they did. He gambled. They won because they both, Emmanuel Butler and LaJordan, cleared waivers so they could be added to the practice squad, which they were. So they brought Alizé Mack and Jordan Humphreys and all those guys back to the practice squad. So the Saints continue to add them to the practice squad. But you know, when the time comes, if somebody want them and they go reach out and get them, they could pull them off of there if the Saints don't activate them to the active roster. So I was upset by the LaJordan Humphreys thing, to be honest with you, DJ. That's my feeling on it, brother.
All right. My next question is, I know you got the caller, so I'm going to hurry this up. How do you feel about the Pelicans for the season?
Pelicans loving them, DJ. Got a new Pelican post-game report coming out, and we working on some new stuff with the Pelican post-game report, bro, doing live shows like the Sports Coma and all that coming around. But I absolutely love what the Pelicans have done, man. I mean, going forward, getting away from Anthony Davis, getting Zion Williams down here, and doing all this great stuff, and Drew Holiday, how he's accepted. I mean, the whole aura of the team. Lonzo Ball looking good, man, in practice. You got Jason Hart practicing with Dwayne Wade, getting better. I mean, I absolutely love what they're doing. And of course, the latest things is they're looking at adding Joe Johnson to the team. And I don't know, old Joe Johnson, because Darius Miller went down for 2 months or something like that. He got an ACL injury, I think it was, or something, but he done for a few months. But they was looking at Joe Johnson. Nothing happened on that, but a bunch of other teams were looking at him. But man, I absolutely love what the Pelicans are doing, DJ. I know you a Pelican man, bro. I know you one of the biggest families on the Pelican side, bro, doing the Pelican post-game report. But yeah, my man, I love what the Pelicans are doing, bro. And I just know that a lot of people not picking them for the playoffs, though. I know that much. A lot of them ain't picking them for the playoffs. They got everybody else in there. And I just think that's a mistake, because that's cool. We got something to prove. Brandon Ingram's he's healthy. I love it. And then another thing I like, when they brought the big guy from Utah. That dude is fierce, man. That dude overseas. I can't think of his name. You're talking about the European fella, right, yeah.
I went and did some research on his play. That dude got some game, bro.
Yeah. Big guy. He's a stretch four with physical stretch four that can shoot the three. Yep. So I mean, but that's due diligence. Yeah, that's the due, and then JJ Redick. I mean, the due diligence of what what the staff was able to do. And, you give Griffin all his credit, but Trajan Langdon and the rest of the staff, they absolutely splendid team.
That goddamn Anthony Davis.
Man, they took that Anthony Davis trade and extended it 2-3 years into the future. Could you imagine how fierce we is? And it's only going to continue because we're going to continue to add assets to the mixture. I mean, DJ, what can I say, man? I'm excited, man. I'm excited about the Saints. I'm super excited about the Pelicans. Man, it's going down in a major way, baby, in the building. Dealing with the Saints and the Pelicans, baby. Who that? It's going on, baby. It's going on. The Saints, I'm going to have to create a Saints super fan aura. You got Soul Saint, you got Whistle Monster, you got the Clown Saint, you got the Stormtrooper Saint, Super Saint, you got the Joker Saint, you got the Pope Saints, Super Saint fans, you got a bunch of them, man. I mean, we got to create one called the Saints, the Reverend Saint or something like that. Reverend
Saint. The Pope, you need a Baptist Saint.
A Baptist saint?
Yeah, because they already got the Pope Saint. You know what I'm saying?
You say you need a Baptist saint. You need a Baptist. Reverend Saint. Yeah, baby, we gonna do it all, baby. It's all going down in there. Press, hold your hand up to the sky, baby, and understand that the Saints is going down. Yeah, but DJ, I'm excited, bro. That's my sentiment, bro. How you feel about it?
I mean, hey, you the man, so my last question I'm in this conversation, what percentage do you think Taysom Hill is going to play this season? Do you think he's going to play a quarterback role, a running back role, a tight end role? What kind of role
25%
does
of
this
them
man play?
That's a great question, DJ, and that's man, it's.
Can I answer that question?
Sure, go ahead.
Let me tell you something, sir. Mr. DJ, you know about Taysom Hill, man. He's gonna play 25% of each position, man. That's just who he is.
25% of each position?
Each position, it equals. He's gonna play 4 positions and will equal 100. Okay.
Okay, name the position.
He's gonna play quarterback. All right. He's gonna play wide receiver. He's gonna play special teams, and he might play running back.
What about wide receiver?
I just said wide receiver.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. So I mean, pretty much he's a phenomenal athletic ability. He has phenomenal athletic ability.
There you go. I know it was in there somewhere.
That was stuck in my throat. All right. So man, I mean, he's good to have, and the only thing I feel about Taysom is the money he's going to ask for next year. Being that he has to play all those positions, and now he's being seen as a phenomenal threat. That's the only thing I'm scared about. But we shall see how that goes. Remember when Jimmy Graham played 2 positions, how full in his head he got, y'all got me playing receiver and tight end. I want that money. Hopefully Taysom don't reach that
I don't think Taysom's going to do that. He's a grounded dude, and he knows Sean Payton and really showing him love. But 25, 25, 25, 25, that's what Sway says. I don't know. I think it's more special teams than anything you probably will see out of 100% in his play, in my estimation. You probably see him at the quarterback position. I say that's kind of difficult to say, but you'll see him in those packages, those gimmicky packages. I say, man, I give it 25%. I say that. I can give you that. But I think most of it, maybe 50% or even above that, will go to special teams as I see him, and the rest of it will probably go toward doing him like a tight end or a wide receiver or something like that. Putting him in the slot or possibly doing, something like that. I can see that 25%, and then the rest of it like 50+% in the special teams capacity. That's where his value is at, is in the special teams right now, being he's gadgeted, and of course in the offense as well. As for outside of the quarterback position, wide receiver or tight end. So that would be my percentage. But anytime you can get Taysom Hill on the field, it's just another playmaker that you have to account for if you're the defense. And the defense, when he gets on the field, everybody looks. And how you looking at Taysom over here, and then you turn and look at Elvin Kamara over there, and then Jared Cook over there, and then Mike Thomas over there, and then Ted Ginn. You just doing this to your damn head, twist off, and you spin off and twist off top of your head. So I mean, it's going down, man. It's no way they can game plan all these phenomenal playmakers for the Saints. So that'll be the answer to my question now. Yeah, it's a great problem to have, DJ.
Well, y'all go ahead. Who that? Pelicans that? The ones who pre-ordered 2K, the game comes out this Thursday.
That's right.
The actual game come out Friday.
All right.
So y'all go play with Zion, Jackson Hayes.
That's right.
Jackson Hayes another one.
Yep, Jackson Hayes.
That's about it.
Yeah.
All right, DJ, thank you, man. Appreciate you for calling in, my man. Look out for the Pelican post-game report, bro. Coming up real soon. Got some interesting stuff going down. And also, just to let the family know, man, as well as that, the Sports Coma game giveaway. We got the game coming up. The consoles are being the console giveaway starts in September, and it goes all the way into December. So every month, the Sports Coma will be giving away a console, PS4 console, and the game. Now, the first month we'll have the Madden game attached to it. The second month we was looking at doing that, like DJ was talking about. He was doing the 2K game that's coming out next week. So we might throw that in there too for the following month. So a lot of great things going down. The Sports Coma Fantasy League is in full effect. The merch is there as well for the family to check out, t-shirts, hats, and all that gravy stuff. And then the console giveaway to the family members as well. So, I mean, a lot of great things going down here at the PRO Media Network and Sports Coma. I like to thank all the people, man, for chiming in. Nah, Elite, baby. It's a PS4. PS4, not the 2. But thank all the family members. Thank you, DJ, for calling, my friend. And just keep looking out for the Pelican post-game report. Thank you, brother, for your support.
You know I will. All right, you two enjoy.
Thank you, brother.
All right, man.
Peace. That's DJ, man, chiming in. One of our Pelican and diehard Who Dat people, man. Another great member of the family calling in. Really great call, man. Appreciate some of the brothers from calling in. Revolt Control Radio. Big ups to you at ATL. My dog DJ for calling in as well. Thank you, DJ. Great, solid individual peeps. And thank them for their support. And thank you guys out there for your support as well as the Sports Coma Fantasy League has ended, man, as well. Yes, sir. Yes, Wade, want to say something?
Say, bro. Oh. We gonna talk about the Saints being shy.
Oh, man. That was the worst song. Oh, my goodness. This is terrible. And I think that will be a cue for us to
he can throw the ball way over there.
All right, I think that's the cue. The season coming in, man, and Suede is getting ready for the season to come in. But anyway, I'd like to thank all the family for joining us here on the Sports Coma special Fantasy League Sunday broadcast, man. And of course, we did the Fantasy League, but we know that most of the family members didn't participate in the Fantasy League. But I'm good. I'm happy with that nonetheless, because we were still able to do a full show and talk about some of the latest issues and things that happened today in terms of the trade with the Saints, according to some of the releases and things that happened that happened yesterday and the previous day. Was able to cover that with the family members as well, going into the team. So it's just been, the last couple of days have been absolutely tremendous, family. And I'd like to thank all of y'all. That's right, baby. I'd like to thank all of y'all for joining us today on the podcast. Thank you so much for joining us on the podcast here today. So I got to get, that's the Reverend Saint hand right there. That's the Reverend Saint hand.
We don't continue with that.
Yeah, baby. We're going to get to the top. We're going to the Super Bowl. We're going to get to the top, baby. We're going to get. Anyway, thank everybody for joining us, man, on the Sports Coma Fantasy League, live Fantasy League, as well as other stuff is going on. Thank you guys for doing it. Thank Paul. Thank Elite Goods, Dada, Renault, Travis, Crass, DJ for calling in, Revolt Control Radio for calling in, good talking to the brothers, Robert, all of the great Saints people, Gary, Marvin, Jerome, Kevin, everybody, Quincy, Jason. I mean, it's so many. Scoob, Devin. I mean, it's just D Granger, Tramal. Man, it's everybody. All the great Hugh, that Sir Sean P in the building. I mean, there's so many great family members, man. If I miss your name, please forgive me. Will who that to him as well. Donald, all y'all, man. Jared, all the terrific. Donald, Daryl, all the terrific, great. Teal the legend. Bobby. I cannot forget Teal. Okay, Ricky and Mike. Bobby, Ricky, and Mike, Big Ed, all 985J, JC Mason, John T. I mean, all the great family members, Toby, all the great family members for chiming in tonight. Thank y'all for joining us here. We are family here at the Sports Coma, and I love y'all, man. Who that to y'all, man. And we'll be back at another time to talk some more Saints talk. So big ups to the family members in here. So share the show, man. Remember, before I go, we got, don't forget the console giveaway. We're officially announcing it coming up on Monday. We'll have the ad so you guys know what to do. I know y'all won't get in there, baby, and get that console. It's a console. It's a console. The consoles, you know how much them things cost? $300. Tree, like Jamaican tree. Is $300. $300 for console. But if you sign up, you get it for free. If you win. 4 weeks. Yeah. Man, love y'all, man. Thank y'all for all y'all do. Check out the merch, family. It's a way to helping the platform grow even further and unify. Like my son has the New Orleans the Sports Coma shirt right there. That's the established one. There's the Chump Commissioner shirt that's really popular. That's the Who That Dap Slap Your Ass shirt, the Dat Slap. We have that as well. So we got all that going on in a major capacity at the Sports Coma. So I like to thank Swade for chiming in here and showing some love this weekend as well. And I like to thank my sons for coming in here and showing some love with the family and spending this whole live stream chilling with Dad. That's a pretty good thing when you're a Saints fan, baby. Thank you very much. Appreciate y'all, and we love you. Who that?